Well, everyone. Oh, God, I have public mail in here. Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Am I too loud? One's in the chat if I'm fine, two's if I'm not loud enough. Deets. It's time for deets, y'all. Deets. And guess what? I'm limiting myself today because I'm very tired. Your girl keeps trying to do her own breaks, and it's too hot. And I keep giving up. One is good. Okay, excellent. All right, so we're good. We're going to try to get started. I'm going to do, what are we going to do? Like 4 minutes of talkie. Let anybody else who wants to come in, come in. And then I'm going to show you the goods because I have a lot to say today. And then I'm definitely going to hit up the chats, obviously. Let me do some sorting here so I can expedite the process. How was your day today? Tell your dad about school. Did you learn about Mother Earth? Did you get along with everyone? Did someone give you lice? Tell your father. Whose ass do I have to bait? Hello, everybody. It's kind of, you know what I noticed, by the way, when y'all put emojis, I know it's emoji. I'm gonna keep saying it my way, but when y'all put those, sometimes it'll say like over here, Web Weaver, it will say, do you see what I'm seeing? Pride Heart, Philly Rainbow. I don't know. I wonder why it does that. Anyway. And also, I don't see the flag sometimes. Like I told you, it'll say GB or something. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello. Hello, Web Weaver. Hello, Nicolette. Hello. Hello, Bojangles. Hello, No Woman, No Cry. I'll tell you what. I did not get my dad nap today. And Dad's very grumpy. I'm on haul off and punch a wall. Yeah, I don't see the I don't see the emojis. What is going on? Hello, Melanie from Waco. Nosy Rosie, I like your name. Ariel, what's up, bestie? What's up, soul sister? Having all my thoughts, invading my brain, saying what I'm thinking. How you doing today? No school today, just no AC for 2 hours. It's freaking hot outside. Nope, not today. I don't want that for you. I feel that though. The AC in my car broke. We have 2 window units in our whole place because the big one from the 70s busted and was full of mold when we moved in. So we had to buy our own, and the ones we buy keep leaking no matter how far or stable you get. It's just Texas, y'all. It's just Texas, y'all. Oh my God. They won't show only in the chat. Wow. Web Weaver, you taught me something today. I'm going to get into it just in case there are people who are watching and don't have time for my silly bullshit. I understand. I don't have time for my silly bullshit either. I carve time like a file. Anyway, I'm going to get right into it, and then we'll do our goofs and our laughs at the end. How about that? Hello, hola. I really want, let's start at 5 minutes. How about that? That way it gives people time to get in here. And I thank you for joining my cult. If you don't know, you've been indoctrinated into a cult. Welcome. I'm your cult dad. I don't want to sleep with you or do anything nasty. I don't want to sell you a product or get you involved in any sort of pyramid scheme or MLM. And I'm never going to make you wear a robe. I just want to be nosy with you. And I want someone to go, oh, yes, please tell me about this court case, and I will argue with you about it. That's what we do at my cult. We're almost there. Listen, I know you're in the back seat. I know that you want to get to Deets Land, and we're going to go to Deets Land, okay? But I told you to piss before you got in the car. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Sherry. Hello, Athena. Thank you for joining my cult. I love your silly BS, Kim. And did you email me? You should email me. I think you live near where I grew up, and I want to talk to you. Hello. Hello. Hope Ain't Fear. That's a cool name. I am so glad I clarified for you, Adam. I wouldn't want you to join a cult without knowing, but understand that the moment you click on this video, you are indoctrinated into the cult. You no longer have a choice, and you have signed a private soul contract with me. And unfortunately, the only way to be released from that contract is to tell my dog he's a good boy. Do you understand? Really, we're just praying to Mikos at this point. I'm so glad you're all happy to be in my cult. Who got Velcro shoes? Oh my God, you're ready. You're cult icon ready. Yeah, we're called the Snoopy Dupas. In fact, Natalie, you can be our lead dupa for coming up with that. Your job is to say silly things. Kim, I don't want to dox you, but I bet we know all the same people. All my worst boyfriends were from where you are, and some of my best friends, and a lot of family. Yes, I do. Oh my God. Girl, message me. Let's talk smack. There's a true crime case out there I'm curious if you know about, because my ex-boyfriend lived next door to the guy with the burn pit, if you know what I'm talking about. And I used to scream at him when I was 15, "Where are her bones?" And I got in trouble. He worked at a Dairy Queen and he was weird. He lives in the woods now and has no electricity. I hope he's well. Not the guy with the bones, my ex-boyfriend. He was wild. Um, Definitely was in a band. He was the only member. It was terrible. Okay. Yes, I hope you're full of El Presidentes. I think it's time to start. I've gone a minute over. As a former teenage edgelord, this is on topic, so we can talk about it. I am so looking forward to this. Me too. As a young lady who bought whatever clothes were on clearance in the Hot Topic and spent all of her time at Goodwill looking for the same mesh camo that Gwen Stefani wore while simultaneously tucking in my typo negative shirt, I completely understand the misguided nature that we all, I don't want to say it's not a nature. What is the word I'm thinking? The misguided phases we go through where perhaps we like something a little cringy or weird or gross. But here's the thing. You guys are going to be so thrilled. Listen, none of it was her. Yay. It was all bullshit. I'll tell you that right now. If you don't care and you just trust me, then you don't even have to watch the rest. It was literally all bullshit. Now I'm going to show you how I know. You ready? All right. Let's keep going down a little bit more. Hello. Oh my God. I bet you know my friend Amanda, whose last name starts with a K. You do like dialogue, but sometimes time is limited and you really appreciate my wise intel. Thank you so much, Sherry. Let's get to the intel, shall we? I want to say hello to more of you, but highbrow, is that an eyebrow joke, Daisy? I love you. And that's really freaking funny. And I was actually going to do them up for you up on my head today, but we were pressed for time. Tito's and Tonic, Memorable Youth, Dashboard Confessional. No one said that, but I still have that in my head. Let's go. I hope she sues John Ray too, Natalie. I'm upset. I am angry. Let's talk about why. First thing we need to do to get into this. Yes, nothing has been proven thus far to be correct. In fact, I'm going to disprove it. I'm going to tell you how I think he got some of the images he got. K-Buns, I agree. I hope that she sues. I really do. And here's the thing. Yeah, so the signed painting that was shared during the press conference, what you're talking about is her Francis Bacon painting. And I actually have a lot to say about that because that was the only painting that was actually hers. If it's the one you're talking about, I will pull it up actually. Let's see. Here it is. I wish I could. Here, let me just pull it up right here. Is this the right? You're talking about the, hold on one second. I want to make sure that I get the right one. We'll just pull up the whole freaking Newsweek thing. Why don't we do that? So here's what we're going to do. This one actually has all of them. Yes, I pulled up one that has all of them, and it actually quotes from John Ray's press conference. And because I can't trust anybody anymore, I actually went through and made sure that they were accurate, the quotes. Thank you so much, Muddy Paws. I think I got a super chat earlier, and I'm still trying to figure these out. So I'm sorry if I missed it, but I promise I will go back. Okay, let me see. I want to pull up the picture, but I really just have it in a Word doc at this point, and I was hoping not to. Okay, here we go. Frig it. Let's just start. I'm going to go in my order, but we're going to hit on that. And actually, yes, I did find that. And we'll just hit on that. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's pull up. Sorry. Let's start with, here it is. Boom. Okay, I'm going to share a screen with you guys. Let's do that. And then I'm going to, here we go. Yeah, I think it's best that way. All right, here we go. I'm going to share my screen with you. And I'm going to make myself small and hope that this looks okay. Okay. Did it work? Wait, nope. No, I shared the wrong one. Hold on. We're figuring this out, people. I'm sorry. Thought it was more prepared. Okay, where's the Newsweek one? Oh my god, I have too many tabs open, you guys. This is crazy. Let's do entire screen over here. What is this shit called? Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. This is embarrassing. Okay. There it is. Boom. Boom. Got it. Share. Let's share that. There we go. You guys see it all right? Yes, we do. Yeah, dad needs interns. Dad's tired today. All right. So this is the Newsweek article I pulled up because this is the one that was the most frequently shared. It was the most popular one that popped up in all of the search results. Furry butt plug is in the lexicon. One of you didn't know what lexicon meant. It's almost like saying zeitgeist. It's just like our vocabulary for our little group. Let's just say that. That's what that means. So now we learned a new word if you didn't know. Okay. So I want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, the most obvious thing was the pop art, right? I am not going to show you. And yes, I do read the chat here. I promise. I just have been trying to pull all of this up, guys. So this picture right here, of her with the her hands like this, right? So this is from her LinkedIn, okay? The specific filter that she was using was a filter that was easily available on iPhone for about 2 years. A lot of people used it. It's in no way salacious. It's absolutely her. That part was accurate. That was probably the only part that was accurate, okay? The next thing is we have this skull situation right here, right? So when I was looking at the art classes at NYU, and some of this I'm not even going to bother showing you because it does have her personal information on it, but some of it I am going to show you, and those are the important receipts. Right now, just know that part of the NYU curriculum is absolutely to do sculpture. Also, to get into NYU's art program, you do have to create an art portfolio that needs to go between what is the equivalent of a jury. Now, what is a jury? At music school, it's when you sight read or play music for your professor, and then they pick out, who gets to be in what specific band. Okay. In art school, it's kind of picking out your levels of your classes. It's also personally curating, especially at NYU, your specific style. For example, if you're into contemporary, you're not likely going to go and work with a bunch of abstract art teachers or professors who specialize in that. Okay. So essentially, what we've got here is we've got pieces of her art portfolio. Now, I want to point out, of these, the only ones that he showed in the press conference was this one and this one. But what we do get out of here is we get this fun screen name with this little logo on it. This is going to be where, oh my God, East Coaster, chill. You know what's crazy? I just looked down and saw some of your comments, and I was going to read them, but I promised everybody that I would start telling them the deets, the receipts. I would get to the mustard here. Now, I don't know why you're mad that I'm not reading every other comment, but yesterday everybody was pissed off that I read any comments. So we got to find some sort of balance here, East Coaster. If you were the one who sent me a super chat and I missed it, I apologize. I'm very new at this live thing. Please forgive me, and I thank you. If you aren't the one who sent me a super chat and you're just someone who is coming in and commenting and saying rude things, then get the fuck out. Thank you. Bye. All right? That's enough. We're going to do this. Ugh. So many nasty people here. Say hi to East Coaster. Her sister dated Rex 9 or 10 years ago. Wow. Well, your judgment seems about as good as hers. So let's keep going. Bye. Anyway, the point is, this is all basic shit. I don't feel the need to defend the skulls or anything. This is stuff that people do when they're entering art school. She's into gothic shit. She's into witch shit. That's about as far as it goes. Okay. Now we're going to get into the good stuff. So the key OSINT thing we want to look at here is Vin and Demadter, however you fucking spell that shit. Okay. So at that point, we're going to scroll down. See what we have here, a work in progress on oil canvas. Okay. So what's really interesting to me is that when you look at this on her actual page, which we're about to do, she explains that this is Francis. Yeah, it does look, by the way, like El Dia de los Muertos, Petty. And we celebrate that here. Simultaneously, roses, hands, and skulls tend to be some of the most difficult things to sculpt, according to every fucking thing that I ever learned about art history when I took it and everything I've read on the internet. And I also had personal challenges with it. It's very edgy and difficult to use that as your portfolio. Some people would think it's a bad idea. I think she did a pretty good job, frankly. So we move on to here. So when we see this on her page, which you're going to see in a minute, I'm going to show you that. What it's titled, she has titled this Francis Bacon. I thought that was interesting. I know a couple of things about Francis Bacon. I don't know a lot about him. I started reading up on him. I also have a really, really good friend who is a very fancy man who works at an art gallery and is totally obsessed with shit like this. So I sent him this painting with absolutely no context today. I also asked him if he'd like to hop on a live, and no, because he has a date on Grindr. But he did say that he would give me his honest feedback and that we would. Jank C. Scott, I love you and thank you. And don't worry about this. I'm new at this too. I'm just glad you weren't that East Coast asshole. I like you. You're the best. Everybody, Jancy Scott, very, very nice. Gave me a super chat. I will use that to buy my dog treats. Okay. And I am going to come back and check on this and say hello to anybody in a minute. And if I see one, I'll get right to it. But again, I'm trying my best to stay on track. And you guys know I've had a lot of concussions, so bear with me. So I talked to my buddy. I send him this. I don't tell him anything about it. I just wanted to get his take on it because according to old lawyer fellow with the scrunchie, this is horrific shit depicting a woman's vagina getting ripped open or tits getting ripped off, all this awful stuff, right? That's what it is. I send it to my buddy who runs a gallery, went to school for art history 20, 30 years ago, works with some of the best galleries in the nation. Last night he was at a Sotheby's thing. That's a pretty big fucking deal. Pretty sure the dude could be Banksy. I don't know. Just kidding. But when he looked at this, he laughed. I was on the phone with him and he started laughing and he said, I shit you not. He said, is this a gay guy who painted this? And I said, wow, that's kind of a funny thing. No, it's not. But, please, by all means, analyze. I then told him it was called Francis Bacon. That's when he started laughing maniacally and told me that there is actually a pretty big situation and argument among people and historians about Sir Francis or Francis Bacon, whatever, being gay. And that one of the big things back in the olden days, if you will, when they were painting all sorts of wild, kind of more modern art stuff, as abstract and oil started to become more popular, there was a big boom in the community of, like, there was a guy named Kastabi who used to make really crazy prints, and he would get these groups of people to paint them for him, and then he would just go sign them, right? So there was a big thing where there was a lot of male gay representation that involved female vaginas with teeth. And they actually made a horror film about it called Teeth. I believe the joke was vagina dentata or something. But it's kind of a statement, according to him, he thinks, on Francis Bacon dealing and fighting with the idea that he didn't like his wife, who cheated on him with somebody else, and that every time he saw her naked, he saw her as a vicious creature. He was no longer attracted to her lady bits. There was some folklore behind it that I became uninterested in and I zoned out. But regardless, that's what he got out of it. And I thought that was kind of interesting because what John Ray got out of it was that when she was a child, she helped murder a woman on a beach. Fascinating how people see things differently. Now, is this the proof? No, here's the proof. Let's go over here. Sorry, I have to open this real quick. Now, what I'm going to show you guys first is, remember earlier right here, this name right here. This is what we're looking for. Now, I thought that the way he pronounced it, I was like, that's not her account. Then when I looked at it closely and they started quoting him in this, and it was all dead ass, I was like, I see. John Ray just can't say things good. This makes sense now. This is actually her account name. This right here, this Vananda Madtour, right? Now, the thing is, it wasn't actually linked through her LinkedIn. This is just something that pops up when you type in her name on almost anything with art. It's very simple. It's very easy, right? Now, here's the thing. When we get down to right here, let's pull this open. Remember how he said that everything she had been taken down, or that it was no longer up, or that she deleted it, whatever his excuse was, okay? And also, yes, it does kind of look like a bad menstrual cycle. That is true. So what he said about everything being taken down, absolute bullshit. Here, let me show you. If you go on the Wayback Machine and you type in her website, which is vanandamadtour.art, right? Sure, now it pops up as nothing. There's nothing in there. However, if you go back and you pull it up on the Wayback Machine, this is what you get, my friends. Here, let me. Oh. Yes, share. Wow. Wow. Isn't that cool? Now, this was from July 14th, 2023. Does that day ring a bell to anybody? Right? And again, Sherry with the best comment. Just remember, she was 10 to 13. She was not participating. There's absolutely no way. She was also not in town. Let's not forget that. Not in town. So, yes, I agree. Now, also, I am also a Central Texas asshole, ma'am. Now, let's look at this. And yes, there were a few toothy vaginas in 70s animated porn. And actually, didn't Joey Buttafuoco, shout out Long Island, didn't he make one? Or was it Joey Buttafuoco or what? It might have been John Wayne Bobbitt. He made that weird porn that was with his, what was it called? There's Frankenweenie, something like that. Anyway, this is Victoria's actual webpage. Now on July 14th, which wasn't that like the day after they busted Rex? Yes, it was. That was right when they busted Rex. This is all of her artwork. Now, this is all of her artwork. Do you understand that? Now, here's how I know that this is right around when that happened. In fact, immediately after, because the day after, it might have even been that evening when Rex was busted, I went and found all this and I screenshot it and I put it in the Wayback Machine. That was me. I did that for a reason. Just in case. Just in case, because I'm nosy. You can see this right here. See how it's plugged in right there? That's cool, huh? Now, if you went in and did the same thing, you could do that. Now, here's the thing. When you click on all, this is all. And what's great is on the Wayback Machine, you can even go inspect, and you can also dive in by taking these and running them through the image search and seeing what pops up in the cache. Now, if you do that, the only thing that pops up in the cache are these pictures. That's fascinating, isn't it? Now, let me ask you a question. Do any of these look like anything that has anything to do with what he showed? Because here's a little spoiler. Everything here is what Victoria made. Everything he showed was made by professional, famous in some instances, artists. And I'm going to show you them. Now, I don't want to dox them, but because they're pretty famous artists and they're big time and I'm pretty sure they can handle it, I'll tell you their name. Not going to go to their Facebook, not going to go to their Twitter, but they're all very active on these, right? They made the art that he showed you. And I'm going to show you which one. Okay. None of these look like the images. In fact, I even thought the whole reason, if you remember at the beginning of my video, and by the way, sometimes they don't always show up in the Wayback Machine, heads up, and you have to do a little toggling. Like we could go back if we wanted to, and we could check out other versions of this page. And there are a few, but we're just going to leave it here because I already went to art. We could just do that here. So what's fascinating about all of this is, I'm going to show you where he got those images. So if you take off the N where it says projects and you just go to her main root page, this is going to be the home page for her website. This is her website, right? And yes, these are cool pictures. Actually, what's interesting is this is a lot of 2D and 3D artist animation that she also touts in all of her portfolios online, including her LinkedIn. She also shared some of it in a community a long time ago. It has since been taken down. I do have a screenshot because it has her old screen name on it. And I worry that she might want to reactivate that account or that other people will find it and find her personal things that I already went through. They have nothing to do with any of this sort of shit. I'm not going to post that today, but I can tell you right now, she has posted about her art and about how she wanted to make self-portraits, and she was very interested in what other people thought of her 2D art because she wanted some guidance. She also stressed in one post that she felt a little isolated out in Massapequa. Apparently, there isn't a big pop art culture that has to do with Comic-Con and anime that she liked. So she was really just looking for friends. It was a very sweet post. It seemed very endearing. It seemed like she wanted people who were into this type of art and into using a specific program called Procreate, which she also touts on her LinkedIn. She wanted people to take a look at this and teach her things from Procreate so that she could make cool self-portraits, because that's how she built her self-esteem and that's how she was able to open up and connect with people, and she wanted to make more friends. I thought it was very sweet. She was a little bit younger. That's another reason I think she was maybe around 16 when she posted this. She's very good. In fact, I see a light bit of cleavage, absolutely not even nudes, you guys. These are very good. I mean, very good. In fact, I'm going to show you some more stuff. Oh God, some of this stuff is really sad. And I'm talking about some other things I pulled up that are just bumming me out about just the family and what they've gone through. Now, see how it says 9 captures? There were 9 captures of this page. 7 of them were post-arrest. Now, over here, we've got 2 captures that were pre-arrest. And I found this interesting. I thought, I wonder who went to her page and preserved it in the Wayback Machine. And that's when I noticed, when you try to link to this on any modern computer with Windows 11 or anything that's got like any modern updated systems, even though it was not that long ago, it was 2022, she was using a program that a software that people don't really use that much anymore because it is a bit outdated, but she was trying to learn 2D renderings and animation, which is something that kind of went out of style. It's almost like the laser disc. Like, remember when that briefly happened? 2D animation, though, started making a comeback in that subculture. So when she would post her Vimeo that had her reels of all of the 2D animation that she made and the 3D animation, it's not going to show up in the Wayback Machine anymore. It's just not. They don't equip it with anything that isn't currently available on your modern browser. And that's the shitty part. But simultaneously, she did put it up elsewhere. And it's just literally these raccoons. It's all it is. And we can even go further back. And again, it skips us ahead because that one's a green one, which means that there wasn't really any data in the cache. Someone just tried to preserve it. It was a broken link, right? This is great artistic talent. It really is. And see, what's also interesting is that none of this was featured. And this is all her art. And none of it was featured in that press conference. Crazy. Now let's go look at the Tumblr. Yes, without. Let's go look at the Tumblr, because that's going to be cool. Now, here's one thing. You know what? Instead of looking at her Tumblr first, let's look at who they stole from. How about that? Because I want to show you who they pretended she was. And here's the thing. I went through each of them on the Newsmax article, looked at the exact quote, and he straight up says that she either reblogged them or they were created by her. What's crazy is she didn't reblog them. at all. And you can see by scrolling down, and she didn't. And it's very shocking. See this right here? Aperitif. Strangely literal is the person who reblogged exoskeletal undead. John Ray touted in the press conference that he showed us pictures from this account, exoskeletal undead. Now, what is this account? Oh shit, I'm not even showing you guys. Hold on, here we go. My bad. Here, let me show you the right screen, because you need to see this. Okay. So this is the account that he was showing. Also, let's go to this one. Hold on. Wow, they kind of make it difficult to transition into. I don't even know which one it was. I think it was. Here it is. Okay. Do you see it now? Everybody sees it? Okay. So Exoskeletal Undead is a Tumblr blog that literally, and see how it says previously exoskeletal? They literally just repost horror stuff all the time. That's what they do. Anything that is disturbing art, anything that is creepy art, this is where the art came from that he pulled. It's very fascinating to me that he attributed this artwork to Victoria, because nothing in his old Tumblr was Victoria. See this right here? You guys, oops. Oh, it did it again. Hold on. Let me present it. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Here, I'm going to take this one out because we don't need it. Here we go. So Exoskeletal Undead reshared this picture from another creator. That was Goddamn Gecko Girl. Okay. Follow me with this because Tumblr's exciting. It's not at all. So Goddamn Gecko Girl, we're not going to go to her page. She is an active user of Twitter. She shares art all the time. And some of this stuff is her creation. It is very fascinating to me. See this? This is Stephen Coydle. Stephen Coydle is the famous artist who made this one. Hers, actually, yeah, that's Coydle. Hers is down further. She shares some of her own early on. Oh, I didn't want to show her face. We'll edit that out later. Okay, anyway, I actually forgot that has her face. Okay, so this is this guy, all right? This is Coydle. If you go click on Stephen Coydle or Stephen Coydle, you can see a lot more of him. Oh, no. Let's get out of there. You don't want to see that. If you go click on this, you can see all of his art. You can see everything that he's made. But this is made by him. It's not made by Victoria. This is his art. It's in his portfolio. If you go Google him now, you can see it. You see what I mean? So I find it odd. See right here? This is another thing. See how it says exoskeletal-undead.tumblr.com? That's not her. That is a guy named Taylor. And the way you can tell it's a guy named Taylor. Oh, screw it. I'll just show my actual here. I'll show you this right now. Let's do this. Sorry, guys. I'm going to pop this up real quick. We're going to also look at the other art that was posted. I'm going to show you who made those. Here we go. Doop, doop, doop. Can you guys see? Okay, great. Here it is. Boom. Okay, this is the goods. Share this tab instead. Oh, yay, that works. I don't want to sign up. Okay, so first let's go over here. Share this tab instead. So Newsweek went through and took every single still. You guys can see that? They took every single still from the press conference. See that says exoskeletal undead? Victoria also followed a lot of accounts that posted a variety of images, including one by exoskeletal undead. First of all, no, she didn't. You could see who followed him. You could put it in the Wayback Machine, see who followed him. She did not follow them. Can you guys still hear me okay? I want to make sure because it's giving me a warning saying that my screen share audio is fucked up. Yeah, I know, Terry. He didn't say it was hers? Wait, you're saying he didn't say these were hers? Oh, that's interesting. See how it says attorney John Ray provided images that she reblogged or posted herself to Tumblr. He said that, which is what I just said because I watched it 6 times today. He said that. She didn't reblog this. In fact, you can go back and see everything she revlogged, and she didn't revlog this. It just didn't happen. I'd love to show you proof that it didn't happen, but basically it doesn't exist because she didn't do it. You feel me? But I'm going to tell you how he came up with this. I will tell you. Here's another. I know exactly, Sherry. How can they say that? I'm going to tell you how they did that, and it's really crazy, frankly. See right here, exoskeletal undead. Everybody was saying, "Oh my God, how Shannon was found." Oh my God. First of all, Victoria was 14 at that time, right? Second of all, Shannon was not found on reindeer horns. Correct me if I'm wrong. Third of all, yes, they also said that she was following people who shared this content. She was not. She was not. She was following one creator who shared one picture that was not any of these pictures. That creator had content that was up on Exoskeletal's Tumblr. Whenever you type in a person's name, here's the best way to explain it. Type in your name one day on Google, okay? Go to images. Go find the first picture that you see that is not you and you don't know what it is. That's what they did. They saw a picture that was up on a cache when they Googled her name and assumed that this was something she blogged because it was also a Tumblr, right? This happens when you type. Now, oddly enough, there was a weird thing going on Reddit and a couple of 4chan posts where people, and I say 4chan because there are these 4chan mirror sites, right? Where these people go and they recreate 4chan because it's not allowed anymore. They're not allowed to talk about the dirty shit they want to, right? So what they do is they create these boards, and as soon as they fill up, they immediately archive them. So what they do, and what somebody actually did on July 14th, was they started a fake account as her. They went anonymously on one of these boards, and they posted that their dad is a serial killer, and they shared her website. Coincidentally, they created a Tumblr with one different letter slightly off, poor spelling, which does not reflect anything of hers, and they reposted this. They also used an old account name that she doesn't even use on her current Tumblr. So they made a mirror of hers. They took everything from hers. They saved the pictures. They created a new account. They used an old screen name with one letter different. And then they went on 4chan boards to get clout, and they reposted it as if it was her in a crisis. My dad killed people. Look at my art. It's fucked up. They then clearly took it down. What I find interesting is right around that time happened, there are some removed Reddit posts in a forum where people were saying, in a subreddit where people were saying, hey, that's fucked up about some stuff. It got taken down. That username no longer exists. They deleted their account. It happened to be within the last year. And I think this could be the person who may have sent this info to John Ray, or John Ray could have had Flower Girl go in, do a quick Google search. She sees these disturbing images attached to a Tumblr that also have a cache leading to a picture of Victoria, which is basically just stored in the old space. You know how we were talking about how there's all this extra space, and when you delete something, it doesn't actually always go away. Sometimes you can find something and you go, oh, that's an old news article about me I want to see. And then you click it and it's a broken link. That's what I'm talking about. There's bandwidth. There's a URL reserved. It's an old Daisy Live Love. It's just an old LISK post on Reddit. There's multiple of LISK. This specific one, I believe, it might have just been in the LISK one, or it might have been in Unresolved Mysteries. This was a long time ago. I took all these notes and I started going back and I started looking at it, and I'm like, holy shit. The only way that you can really link her to any of these is just by going by what comes back in Google. And you have to do it very specifically. And you wouldn't know to spell it one letter off, but because they connected it by putting her own pictures in it, it's going to pop up when you Google her. So basically what they did is they didn't understand how Google works. They got these results back. Flower Girl took a look at it, said, "Oh my God, she ate her entire pen. She was so excited." She runs in the room. She says, "Oh my God, Shannon died. It was this. I can prove it, John." He said, "What's Google?" And then she explained it to him, and then he still didn't get it. And he said, "Start a fucking press conference." And then he roped in that other guy with great eyebrows and took him down with him in flames. And it is sad. Anyway, see how it says exoskeletalundead.tumblr.com right there? Kind of important, right? That's not hers. See how it says Mars Vincent Omnia, right? Victoria seemed to have a fascination with murder, mutilation, and death. No, she didn't. She had a fascination with silly foxes and 2D art. Listen, Dream of Hive, thank you very much. Your dad deserves a glass of wine. Your dad's allergic to alcohol, though, but oddly enough, wine doesn't give me hives. It just makes me tired. So maybe your dad's going to slap the bag tonight. I'm not, but your dad will buy a lot of coffee, some snacks, and donate $10 to the Wayback Machine on your behalf. Thank you so much. I love you. Don't buy a furry butt plug and tell your father about it. I don't need to know. But by all means, if you want to stick something up your ass and play Fox for a night, I'm not against it. Just don't go murder people. Fair enough. Fair enough. I don't think this person did. I actually don't even think she sticks things up her ass and makes a tail. I actually no longer think she's into furries because I noticed something about whoa, Vicky. Guess what? Muddy Paws. Thank you so much for that chat. Do I know anything about Flower Girl's credentials? Probably in a Hobby Lobby ad somewhere. I don't know. She just really, I mean, is it a sugar daddy situation? Listen, I'm not going to libel or slander anyone. I don't know what her relation is to John Ray. She wears floral patterns lovely. She makes a lot of faces that make me think I wouldn't want to sit with her in the cafeteria, nor would she invite me. Sherry, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. What do you think Floral Girl's name is? Let's come up with a name for her today. I want to call her Ebenezer. What do you think? She's his assistant. Huh. She should assist him in buying somebody who is familiar with the internet to come teach him the internet. Just a thought. She was who said that? She was too enthusiastic for me too. She seemed really excited to tear down a girl whose life is crumbling around her. She's a bit of a psychopath. Fuck her. Anyway, moving on. Is that her name? Joseltlin? Is it Jocelyn? Is that how she spells it? I want to hit a wall. I won't, but wow, what a way to spell it. Jessica, thank you for the $9.99 super sticker. What do you think Flower Girl's name is? Is it Furry Butt Plug? Is it FBP? Muddy Paws, was she doing the IT work? She should stick to wearing dresses. That's the meanest thing I'll ever say to anyone. That was actually pretty fucked up. Sorry. But I mean it. Stop doxing people and making up bullshit. It's rude, Flower Girl. We don't like that for you. If you want me, Flower Girl, if you want me to teach you how to tumble, I'll teach you. I'll teach you. I'll do it. I'll absolutely do it. All right? Yes. I love that you mentioned scrunchies again, Tiff. I really do. She should buy him a clue. Thank you for binge watching, Carrie Brooke. Thank you so much. Simi Sharp, I'm glad you dried your hands and you're here a little bit. I hope that your fingers are not too wrinkly so that you can play the bass later without getting a wound. Yeah, Hermione Granger. There's got to be something. Bone Thugs and Hermione. I don't know. We'll think of something. Yes, let's pick a name for her. Oh, you want to pick Jocelyn? Wow, she kind of looks like a Jocelyn, but I know a nice Jocelyn. What if we call her Antlers? Let's call her Antlers, right? Flower butt plug. It's really hard to say that. What's her name? Let's call her Regina. Let's call her Regina Walter. How about that? I did think, you know what? I thought she looked pretty, and then she opened her mouth. Sometimes that can happen. Sometimes that can happen. Okay, so here's what I really think happened. I think that, do you remember in the Maya trial, and I'm not even shitting you because this really does sound crazy, but do you remember how in the Maya trial, how they let Reddit get involved? They let too many people get involved. I do. At first, I said that I thought it could be a troll, and I was totally, that was literally my second choice for a reason. I thought it was Rex using her account, if anything. Then I started looking into it and see right here, attorney John Ray provided images that she reblogged or posted herself to Tumblr. First of all, you can't do that with this because this is the actual guy's entire Tumblr page, right? So you'd have to pick an image to reblog. When you go to each individual image on this page, you don't get that. Like, you don't see her. There's nothing there to show you. She didn't reblog it. What's interesting to me, though, is that Moore's Vincent Omnia, see how down here it says about the blogger, bug blog? If you can't, oh, I don't think you can see it here. Let me pull it up. I wish I could make it even bigger. I would. Here's the thing. I don't want to show you his private info. I really just want to protect as many people as I can because too many people have gotten hurt from this. That is such a gross picture. But anyway, I'm going to encourage you, go to this page, go to Newsweek's page, look at these pictures and type this in right here. Okay. Now, when you do that, you can go see about the blog and blogger. His name is Taylor. He's in his 30s and he's a guy who just reposts and reshares images of the macabre. Now, the painting that she signed of Francis Bacon being gay and afraid of teeth vaginas, that painting that my buddy said, the one who's going on the hot grinder date and it's going to work out and they're going to fall in love, that painting. The person who used to run this account, because remember it said previously exoskeletal, that person a long time ago, before he got busted, reblogged the painting that she had. That's it. So likely, when you type in her name, that painting connects to this specific blog. Does that make sense? And what John Ray, I think, because it's really hard to work. It's hard to do the mental jumping jacks. But sometimes if you get drunk enough or if you huff some paint or if perhaps you stand too close to the gas pump, you have a moment where your head clears and you have a John Ray moment. And it's like, oh, I see how he got that. I thought about it a lot today. And it occurred to me, Tech Girl just saw the cache. That's why they said she deleted it. That's why they said that. Because in most cases, if there's something available in the cache or in the search history, you click on it, it's broken. It actually means that it did actually exist at one point, right? The problem is she was clicking on pictures that popped up when you typed in Victoria Heuermann that still were not painted by her or reblogged by her. But because they said Tumblr and they came up under her name, she made the fatal assumption. And I say fatal because this will be the death of her career if what she's trying to do is be a badass on the internet. Because this is not very badass. What she did was she took a look at these results and she said, you know what would be a good idea? If I just made an assumption and made an ass out of you and me in my flowery dress. And I'm just going to presume that she reblogged these because they pop up when her name pops up. But the problem is this guy actually reblogged her a long time ago under his alt account. He then took all those pictures, restored them on his new account. And these pictures that you're seeing right here are pictures that are just on his. They have nothing to do with her. So I find it crazy that they show this, talk about the foot being gone, the shoe being gone, talk about Shannon Gilbert, right? And it's something that this guy Taylor reblogged a long ass time ago, who also happened to reblog her once. And also, it was Tumblr etiquette at one point where if someone reblogs you or one of your posts, you go do that to them. I find it odd that the only one that was available in the Wayback Machine that seemed even slightly salacious wasn't really that salacious. It was just kind of like, it was like vampire-y shit. It was like Twilight-y. And it was a reblog of someone who also happened to make gore, but it was from like a long time ago. And again, she was a bit younger. Not going to share that. There's just nothing there. It's a nothing burger. That happened after they reblogged one of her foxes. So it was clearly like a helper. What do I think John Ray did? I think that he took information from someone, just like they did in the Maya trial. He made the fatal mistake of believing it, fatal for his career, of course, not him. But he did that, and then he shared it, and he relied on his assistant's intel. It seems that his assistant didn't even bother to look in the Wayback Machine because it actually has multiple points, like I showed you, on her website where it does show her art, and they didn't show any of that. They really do. Like, there were times when he said her art, the images she makes, that she, look at this, provided images that she posted herself. She didn't post this. This is someone else. Now, this person is a 16-year-old girl on Twitter. At least at the time. She looks very young. I'm not going to share her shit. She shared it like a year ago. She's still on Twitter. She makes a lot of art like this. She calls it art. I don't know what that is. Just looks like she threw some shit at the wall. This is a really old meme. And see how it says Lee Lyra Art Studio? This person, the gore whore, remember when he said she called herself a gore whore? She's also on Twitter. In fact, she's kind of famous for her art now. She's the gore whore, according to her. She calls herself that. I'm not dissing anybody. All right? She's the gore whore. And she totally loves it too. She reblogs this shit all the time because she's into stuff like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all that crazy stuff. Again, I could show you her Twitter. I realize that that's what you want to see. But when I said deets, I said deets. All right? Not receipts. I'm showing you deets. The receipts you got to go find yourself. I'm just telling you how to do it. Really, by reporting false information, Newsweek kind of did us a favor. They put it all in one spot. And thank goodness this time, they screen captured the URL, for fuck's sake. Finally. You know, I'm going to come back and I'm going to answer this stuff because I find it to be great comments. Flower Girl used the same intel operism. Yes, exactly. The weapons of mass destruction. My dog's farts are a weapon of mass destruction. Where were they? Where were they? The news would not usually post this stuff. Said I was surprised News Nation did. I wasn't surprised. News Nation, Vinnie Politan, fucking Court TV, they all posted that the Cox brothers were in a sex trafficking ring with Stephen Stearns. You can see that in my Debunking Conspiracies video. Remember when Vinny yelled, "What did he do to her? What did he do to her? What did he do to her? What did he do to her?" And he said it really dramatic when we knew exactly what he did to her in graphic detail in the Madeline Soto case, in all the bail documents. We knew everything. We knew too much, frankly. I don't think they should have put out as much as they did. We knew every single thing he did to her. At least what we needed to know to get those charges. So repeating that a lot and being really dramatic was kind of dumb, in my opinion. I'm just saying it. Putting it out there, starting beef with old Vin, who, by the way, looks just like the Papa Rogers picture. You can't tell me otherwise. Second of all, and Papa Rogers is a kid in another state in the Midwest. Don't worry about that. Not Brian Koberger. Here's the point. They reported that James and Henry Cox, who were raided well before Stephen, who had no ties to Stephen, who were producing their own at-home CSAM from children in the neighborhood who are literally named and aged in the documents. They explain how they broke it all down, how the investigation started in 2021, how one of them was really into the church. He used to work at Disney. He has grandkids. He takes them there. He actually lived off the beaten path from the crime scene, and it was over an hour drive from the crime scene to Stefan's house. And in order to get to that house, you have to go way out of your way, and there was absolutely no connection. There was no digital trail. The Secret Service didn't find shit on his phone connecting them, and yet people still spread that shit as a fact. And News Nation did a breakdown where they pulled up a map and said, "I don't know, maybe," and scared the shit out of everyone. so that you would think your kids were going to get trafficked, because that draws numbers. So yeah, it does not surprise me that News Nation reported this as a fact. It just doesn't. Yeah, I really hope that. I thought that Dr. Mercado maybe got roped into some shit, and then I rewatched it a couple of times and realized John Ray. I had to go, wait, what? Maybe I missed it. Turns out John Ray said repeatedly, we've been working for over a year together. My good friend. You know, I've been consulting with him or using him to consult, all that shit. He kept saying, and then the guy gets up there and he's like, listen, I don't know shit about this kid. It's like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? Was it a year or not? It seems a lot like how, was it Rodney? How he's standing behind John Ray, and John Ray's doing all the talking, saying, listen, this is the real shit. I'm the guy now. You come to me. I found everything. I'm a bad ace. They trust me. You trust me. Here's what happened. I stand by it. They stand by me. Come vouch for me, buddy. And then what did homie do? He came in and he was like, oh, and he made that face. It was like, oh shit. It really, here's the thing. I don't get the end goal either, other than clout. Again, I think that's it, because he said himself, I'm not making any money. So you're just coming out and shaming her and pulling out fake. I really think that he just trusted Flower Girl. I think Flower Girl threw his ass under the bus. I'm curious what he did to piss her off. Did he not pay her properly? Or is she just not good at her job? I don't know. I'm not going to slander anyone. I'm not Flower Girl or John Ray. But I will say this much. They're both full of shit and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay, moving on. Yeah, most people will leave their feelings in a WFLA now. Hi, it's me, JB. They're going to leave it in that poll. They're going to tell him that he's sweet. He's got a beautiful face, the hair of an angel. They're never going to speak on Brian Enton's hair and how it never moves. They're never going to talk about how Brian Enty, I like to call him Enty, how he might have potential Targaryen blood. They're never going to bring that up. But by God, will they vote in JBL's polls? They will vote in those polls. Rabbit, I want to highlight your comment because this is my favorite comment of the week. Not going to lie, my dog just walked in here to fart and walked back out. We are all your dog. I wish I could have walked up and crop dusted that whole press conference. It pissed me off so fucking bad. So bait. Vinny is a drama queen. He is the girl on Mean Girls who can tell the weather with her tits. That's Vinny. Dr. B said 80% of serial killers act alone, but that leaves 20% who work with others. I think he drank the Kool-Aid, believed the intel, and was happy to throw under the bus. I agree, and I also think that he hasn't read a lot of recent statistics. And I also think he doesn't recognize other potential definitely other archives that are out there that have more information. They said that theirs was the biggest. I'm not trying to have an archive or a database off, but I really think that Florida has it down pat. As far as the mass killers, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people collecting databases on that, and Florida has, I mean, they have I'm not even gonna say it. They have one that has a lot of hits from GenMatch that they can never really look into because it pulls from a lot of law enforcement and it was anonymous. And they got some for a hit to that database from the yogurt shop murders, and they could never use it because it was anonymous, because it was part of a big project that's a bit bigger than his. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of ego in this case. Everybody wants to be the one to make it worse, and I don't get why. I don't get it. I really don't. Ray said he believes it's similar to the Heuermann house. Oh, I didn't see the bloody bed and the blood splattered walls on the search affidavit, on the warrants. I didn't see that. I'm sorry. Also, if this reminds you, Ray, of the bed or of the Heuermann's house, you should go ask Lila Ira Art Studio, who is fully available and open on Twitter. She's a gore whore. She'll talk to you. She'll take one look at that scrunchie and she'll gore whore your ear off on the phone. Give her a call. Hey, why do you got a picture that looks like Rex's house? because she's the one you should be talking to. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. A few people that went over the presser just believed everything and reacted with horror. Nobody even fact checked. I feel smart being here because I knew we'd get the truth from OB. Listen, Jen, I'm going to tell you what my grandmother told me when my mother bore me from her loins. And she told me it all the time. She told me two things. One of them is always put your keys like this because people are always waiting under your car to cut your fucking Achilles heel. All right? So keep your keys like this. The other thing she told me once when she had a strawberry daiquiri is all men rape. And then she took my cigarette out of my mouth once on the porch, turned it backwards, and said, don't go ash to mouth. She's a brilliant woman. She's a brilliant woman. But another thing she always said to me is, I will never shit you. You are my favorite turd. I love that phrase. And I'm telling you right now, I will never shit you. You're my favorite turd. All of you. You're all my favorite turds. You know what? PD, I just saw you send a super chat. And when I figure out how to get to it, here we go. Thank you for the treats for my baby. May he fart freely. You know what? I'm gonna let him shit himself. Not really. I'll let him fart wherever he wants. He can shit outside. He could go shit the titties outside. If you know, you know. Thank you for the treats, though. What treats should we get him? I could film him eating dog popcorn for you. Is that something you would like? Let's see what else. Yes, I have the Game of Thrones song, but I don't have the one you're thinking. I have the South Park one where it's like penises and penises. I'm sorry, that's inappropriate. The way he vilified her for having unconventional interests and potentially offbeat kinks made me wonder how he actually views the victims in this case. Me too. I'm not here to watch a man in a fedora dressed like a $3 pimp yell about goth chicks that like witchery. I'm sorry, sir. You are the goth woman in high school. You're the goth high school kid of adult men with real jobs. That's what you are, sir. Stop shaming her. Every horror film since 2009. Also, I want to go back to Ariel. This is, this is such a good point. Here's the thing. I kink shame like a motherfucker. I do it all the time. I hate feet. I do think sticking a tail up your ass is pretty weird. I hate feet. Have I said that? I don't like feet. I think it's weird to cut your limbs off, but I have friends who are into, becoming fucking lizards. Like, who am I? We might judge, we might kink shame, but here's the thing. Don't do it on national TV and then blame someone for a murder over it. That's fucked up. I remember, I don't know who said it last night, but somebody said, like, I wonder what she thought, like, why she freaked out about FetLife, but she's okay with suspension. Trust me, I'm not okay with suspension. That shit freaked me out. And I have piercings and tattoos. But listen, FetLife, the reason that bothers me is because, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I used to have a stalker. They do comedy. She's kind of crazy. She scares the shit out of me. She did a lot of pregnant porn, and she did it on FetLife. And she made weird websites about, I found out way later. I think she banged my boyfriend or something, but I'd already broke up with him when I found all this. I had been stalked and I didn't know. I did not know I was actively being stalked. When I found out, she basically said that I bullied the shit out of her and destroyed her life. And the only time I ever actually met her and came face to face with her, I offered her some mosquito spray, some off. Anyway, she went on to stalk the shit out of me. I found a lot of her stuff later that she put online about me. It was really crazy. And I think that she thought I was another girl. She also posted someone's phone number. It was not mine, but attributed it all to me. And anyway, she would go on FetLife and do pregnant abuse porn. She would she'd get paid and ask guys to hit her. And she would openly cut herself. And she would send the pictures to people that I knew, just as a part of tormenting me. And I thought, wow, that's weird. How does FetLife allow that shit? And I asked them to please stop her, and they didn't. They said, don't you kink shame. So that kind of stuck with me. And whenever I see FetLife in tied into someone who committed a murder or did CSAM, to me, it's like, because I know what that bitch did. She was crazy, right? However, if you go on FetLife and you're not using it for nefarious purposes, or taking part in really disturbing kinks and then sending them to people, by all means, enjoy yourself. Get your tally whacked or whatever you're doing. I don't see a problem with it at all. You be a furry. I don't care. Dance naked in pale moonlight for all I give a shit. I just think that for me, when I hear FetLife, here's the thing. Every kink is shitty when a serial killer does it. It doesn't matter what the kink is. It could be missionary style with the lights off. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. And if a serial killer did it, I'd go, wow, that's weird. I think that's the context. I hope this makes sense. I just went on a rant. I'm sorry. Can I get dog beer or dog Prosecco? I don't know. I will find out. He was acting as if she personally hurt his feelings. He was acting like he was out for fucking blood. He was acting like he did at that Burke conference. Do you remember when he had the press conference? Burke is the killer. Burke did it. What the fuck? We need to, we need to get Burke. We need to get him, guys. Guess what? It wasn't Burke. Simultaneously, he blamed Bissett. Remember that? The nursery guy? He did it. He did it. He did it. I don't even think he held a press conference for that one. I think he just stood in a yard and yelled it. I don't know what that was about, but I remember reading about that. He was definitely quoted as, "This guy did it. We need to investigate." Imagine your family member died of suicide and it had to do with something like a serious depression or some lifelong, mental illness, or maybe something else they were going through. And now you got this asshole in his fedora yelling about how he was part of a big coup. I find it very disturbing that before that, and again, I thought the Peter Hackett thing where he's having a fake heart attack, I thought that shit was hilarious. I knew he was crazy right the fuck away. But I also looked up his court history, which you can see in Judy records. You can see it pretty much anywhere. The man did a lot. He definitely inserted himself into a lot of shit. I feel like if John Ray would have done any background check at all, I bet, you know what? It just hit me now. I bet he hired Flowers to do it. That makes sense why he never knew. The point is, if he would have done any vetting whatsoever, he would have seen that this guy's a turd and he does shit like this. Do I personally think that maybe he gave Shannon a drug and it made her go wackadoo, or something happened to her, or her heart raced, or she had like some sort of weird freak incident that caused her to literally have a heart attack from panic, or maybe, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I don't really know what happened to her other than what I'm told. And I'm told two different things. And one of them is from this guy who I no longer trust. So I still do think it's kind of weird. I also find it's odd that people are shocked that things were different places after a fucking hurricane. I mean, come on, people. The point is, this dude blamed Hackett. He blamed Burke. He blamed Bissett. Did he blame Giuliani? Did he? I don't know. He's blamed a lot of people and he's been wrong every time, hasn't he? He had affidavits sworn to him under oath and written the fuck out by witnesses, and that has brought nothing. Nothing. So it bothered me. That is not Mrs. Heuermann with a battered face. It was just a famous artist who makes gore art. That particular piece can be found at Etsy. I believe they sold out. I don't remember the artist's name. It's somebody who basically, there's this artist that was famous back in the day. She actually painted, maybe we should do a true crime thing on that. She was a woman who painted all these paintings for her husband, and he got famous off of them. And they were a series called Big Eyes. And after he died, it came out that she had been painting him the whole time. He was just bullshitting and pretending to be a badass, but it was her. And when Big Eyes came out, that kind of took over the pop world, pop art, if you will. But it's also like kind of Precious Momentsy in a way. It's these kids who have giant eyes and they're really cute. Now, I would also direct you to those weird dolls that do this, that everyone's like, who left those? I believe they were around the same time that people started taking these Big Eyes, these older like 50s, 60s types of art in that style, and they started turning it into really gross shit. Like, they turned it into some nasty stuff. And they thought it was funny. It's like when people paint extra things in the background and then all of a sudden it goes from thrift store to fucking, again, Banksy. What did he do? He changed everything. So there's a period where a lot of artists would make shit like that. And then they started just making their own art like that. And it was kind of a tribute to Big Eyes, but battered. And it's really gross. And it's, again, part of the gore culture. I don't think that was at all painted by the daughter. A couple of people found it a while back. I didn't even have to do any work on that. I'll go back and find it for you, but like a couple of people found it. I thought I found it. I matched it up with theirs. Yep, they confirmed it. Done. But anyway, yeah, that is from the TV show Hannibal. That's another thing. Not even bothering with it. Like, again, like this is all shit that other people, like, this is not even her. Exoskeletal Undead. When you go to the picture on Exoskeletal's page, it shows you everybody that reblogged it. She did not reblog it. So there's kind of no point, right? I feel like I shouldn't even need to talk about these pictures because she just didn't reblog it. And here's the thing. If I could show you where she didn't, I would, but it would just be going, nah, she didn't, because there's no way to show that. Like, there's just nobody reblogged that. It was just this one guy. She didn't. I could show you a long list where I scroll down to all the screen names, or you can go to this page at this URL and you can look at who reblogged it. And then when you get to the page of this picture, you can go CTRL, you scroll all the way down, get all the names, go to CTRL plus F, and then type in her screen name. And you're not going to see that she reblogged it because she didn't. And it's not in the Wayback Machine for her Tumblr, but ironically, everything else is. And I think that that's for a reason. I don't think she went and had it deleted from Wayback Machine, because if she did, then wouldn't she have everything else? I mean, just makes no sense. Yeah. I said I was embarrassed. I had felt like because you were so mad at Jen, but you weren't as appalled. No, I was mad at that was you. Okay. No, I was mad at Jen and Stefan for having it because of what he did and what she neglected. In that context, fuck Fat Life. You know what I mean? But if I find out you guys do it, I'm like, yay, Fat Life. It's just, there's a hateration that happens when we're busy being angry. When we're busy being appalled, being outraged. Where I might see somebody like the exact same thing I like and go, oh my God, we're fucking creep because he killed babies. But then if my friend's like, hey, I like that, I'm like, well, you didn't kill babies. I mean, at least I'll admit it. That's how my brain works. I don't know how yours works. I just think it's a freak when a fucking asshole does it. What's an FBP? Oh, yeah, we came up with that earlier. I like that. Free butt plug. It is a wild place, and they do offer a lot of stuff like, at least they did at one point, which was really scary. They offered some lanes of pornography that were very disturbing, that were popping up in a lot of trafficking scenarios. And kind of like there was another one, I don't remember what was it, Casting Couch or something. There was like a big thing. There's actually a really good podcast about this woman named August. I don't like watching porn, but I was like, I'd like to listen to this because it was about some situation going on with Me Too in the porn industry, and how this woman named August, Ames, something like that, she ended up offing herself tragically because of bullying, because people didn't really understand the dynamics of the porn industry and thought that she was being racist. It was a whole thing. It's a very sad podcast. Some people think she was murdered by her husband. There's like all this. I personally feel bad for the girl and think that she was suffering with depression. But they speak out a lot about some of the things that various companies or porn production companies did that were not good. And Fat Life hosted a lot of predators at one point in time, but I believe they purged them. So, like, fine, good. Purge them. Okay. Yeah, I really think, oh, wait, what? Liquid catnip. Mini one. I will have to find it. Yeah, I can't. Here's the thing is, I wonder if John Ray just believed that chick was like, this is great. Oh my God, he did this. Okay, I'll run with it. It seems like he got trolled for real. In fact, I was going to show you. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. Also, Exoskeletal Undead. If you go to that page, the Tumblr, which let me see if I can go to the original one. Again, her artwork is pretty good. I don't see the issue. If you go to her page or to the page, you can actually go. Here we go. Let's just do this. I'm just going to share this real quick. And then we got to wrap up because your girl needs to go get the shit out of the yard from trying to do own breaks. All right, let's share this. Okay. So first, let's look at this actual page. All right, fuck it, right? Let's just look at it because I do want to show you proof. All right, so this is a page that had a shitload of the stuff that he was showing at the presser. And it really is so much, and it goes on for days, and he has an old account, but this is one of the main ones that they were showing. They were also showing it Newsweek. He was showing some of the stuff that this exact account reshared. If you go right here to About the Blogger, then you can learn all about the blogger. See how it says, my name is Taylor. I love spooky stuff. I'm an adult in my 30s. So if that makes you feel comfortable, that's not Victoria. That's not Victoria. All right. There's a contact page right here. Do you see this email? 4th the 5th at gmail.com. If you run that Gmail through almost any IP tracking site, if you run it through any OSINT software, it does not come back to Victoria. I'm not going to tell you where it comes back to, but it's not Victoria. It's nowhere near Victoria. So that's a big nothing burger. It's a big nothing burger, is it not? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I feel like this was really shitty. Wait, someone said Margaret Keane. That's the one. A Keane, right? That's Big Eyes. And she painted it for her husband, right? Who said that? Where is it? Lotus Flower. Margaret Keane. You're talking about Big Eyes, right? So it was right after her era ended. There was like a 20-year period where nobody gave a shit about the Big Eyes. And then all of a sudden, it started popping up at thrift stores. And people were like, let's put blood on it. Let's melt crayons on it. It was just wild. Yeah, the one that she did, Daisy, was the first one I showed you, the Francis Bacon with the teeth vagina. And it's because he liked penises. He didn't like vaginas. He thought they were scary. And yet he was married to a woman who was really mean to him and did not want to be with him anymore and cheated on him. And she would frequently request sex, but the problem was he didn't like sex with ladies. So to him, it felt like, you know, kind of like Lincoln and his wife. They had a bit of a, if you're into the presidents or history with like stuff like that, like old shit, I'm into it. Lincoln's love letters are pretty crazy. And I believe authenticated by historians. So that's interesting. Yeah, ego's going back to James Burke. It kind of reminds me of the drug war. Do you remember when the drug war happened and everybody said, listen, we're going to get rid of marijuana and all the problems are going to be gone. And then 2004 hit, and then more people died in Mexico than in all of the war in Afghanistan in that 1 year in 2004. I think it was over 290,000 in that 1 year in 2004 to 2009. That stretched more than all the wars at the time. Died because of the drug war over marijuana. And it turns out it doesn't kill you. It turns out making it illegal across the border and putting restrictions on it and hunkering down and tightening it even before that, it had the same reaction as prohibition, didn't it? And now we have crazy madness. There's a lot of violence. There's an opioid epidemic, and a lot of people attribute that to the fact that no matter what, there are going to be generations of people who go, it's the war on drugs. We need to get rid of these drugs in this pot. And that's going to solve the problem. And the problem is, it's not going to solve the problem. It's going to make it worse. And we have historical proof that will happen. And they say, nope. And they stick by it. And they say, I think we made a good decision. When we didn't. So it's like how people literally will they will not admit they're wrong. I love to admit that I'm wrong. It makes me feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. When you admit that you're wrong, you no longer have to make up bullshit for your own dumb mistakes or gullibility. I recommend doing it immediately when you find out that you're wrong. I'm so sorry I was wrong. Let me adjust my thinking. I don't know why people have a problem with that. The War on Drugs is a great band. Add them out here with the band references. Are you talking about the ballet poster that came out of his house with the young girl's face, or the one that looked like the ballet poster, I believe, is the one that's like a tribute to Big Eyes. And it was I remember like the person it was a very interesting, but also kind of obvious name. There was another one that looked like an autopsy photo, and that, I mean, again, nothing to do with Vic. Like, none of this shit is Vicky. Vicky makes dope self-portraits of 2D art on Procreate, which is an app you can get on your iPad, and that's how people make all those cool buttons and stickers that you see online. I mean, also, I want to highlight this. Tiff and Lay. I'm not sure where you're at in this conversation, but I noticed you've mentioned the hyoid bone and how it's not conclusive evidence that JR seems to think it is. I find this to be a good point, only because, unfortunately, I've looked at some crime scene photos for some very sensitive cases involving something of a similar nature that I was shown by people that I work on a case with. And this guy was like, he's a really, really good, amazing cop who has been doing what he does for 30 years in a state that I neither live in, and it is not New York, so don't even ask. But this guy, they got wonky laws, but he's allowed to kind of outsource and work with me. And he showed me some stuff, and he told me some stuff about it. And it's very fascinating what animals can do to a hyoid bone, what weather can do, what deterioration, what time, what the elements can do in a very short amount of time. And I just see a lot of people that go, it must have been broken this way. And if you go to Bone ID, you can see, I think it's boneid.net. I posted in one of my first OSINT videos. That's a whole bone repository. You can learn all about bones. If you go to crime scenes or I wouldn't go to Morbid Reality, but if you go to the crime scene subreddit, pathologists, medical examiners, various EMTs, surgeons, people who work in the ER, they discuss this very thing. There have been many discussions around the discovery of a hyoid bone and what that means. It does not always mean that someone has been strangled. It can actually be broken without strangulation. Because I don't know more on that I can spout out to you from memory, because I've read a lot about it, but again, there are so many different results for different situations that I hesitate to even spout anything, because there are literally probably like 50 different ways, maybe even more, that this can happen. And I saw a hyoid bone in a picture of a younger person who was killed. And they thought that she was strangled. And it turns out she was not strangled. It was blunt force trauma. The hyoid bone ended up being broken because I think it was chewed on by a coyote. There were teeth marks on it. So I'm just curious, what you guys think. Like, do you think the hyoid bone is something that in any way, or do you have any proof that you could show? Because I'm very interested in this. Like, is there any absolute way that it could be separate? And was it 100% separate from her body? And if so, do you find it weird that that's right after a hurricane? This is what I'm asking. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm curious how you feel. If you're asking me, do I think Victoria had anything to do with any of these murders, though, I want to be very clear. No, she was a child. But yeah. I got to be honest, Sherry. I don't think that's weird. I just don't. Because they're Catholics, right? And Catholic diocese guys have to live somewhere. And I don't know if you know this. I talked about this the other day. That guy just owns the house. Like, I've looked into that. I'm not that lazy, guys. That guy owns a house. He rents it out. He rented it out to family at one point. He also rented it out to two dudes in the summer once. And he has been in Florida for a very long time. I don't think it's that weird. I just don't. Yeah, I also, by the way, uh, people who want to be in this in chambers of commerce and shit like that, in various different clubs and organizations, it's kind of like how you're in high school and you go get an extracurricular so that you get a good scholarship or so that a school will want you. People will do that kind of shit to be in chamber of commerce, country club when they're going to run for council. Sometimes if they want to get a loan at a bank or get into a golf club, like people put Catholic, especially like, here's another thing, Catholic charities being listed in a high school program, they get sponsorships, you know? We're forgetting that he has a son and a daughter. They could have gone to CCD and that could have been part of that. You know, I don't think people are really thinking that practically with this. They see priests and they're like, oh, he fucked them all. That's kind of not. I mean, people have priests in their family. There's priests that live on islands. There's priests that are landlords, and there's priests who do horrible things to kids. But yeah, I don't know. I did see some of the stuff that was mentioned about him. Are we talking? I believe I recall Ken, I think was his name, the with the K, whatever. I mean, I saw some shit about him. I thought that the whole transcript of that trial was wild, but I think it was way before this time, right? And also, again, he was out of the state. He lived in Florida. He had other people. Anyway, let's keep going. Victims of the West Memphis 3 had been left in a body of water. Investigation prosecutors trying to say that the bite markings were caused by perps. It was actually turtle bites. That's actually true. 100% snapping turtles, AM Spectre. And did you see the follow-up depositions with the stepdad? Old Perry, is that his name? I don't remember his name anymore. Go check those out. The ones where he admits it. The ones where they get him to sweat because they tell him, hey, how did your hair get on the ropes? How'd your DNA get here, buddy? Yeah, y'all are talking about Alan Plaka. Yeah, he's pretty easy to find. I don't know. Here's another thing. He's old as tits, dude. Like old tits. Like he's old. Also, there's I get why. I get that it's suspicious, but I just don't see the need to add extra people yet. You know what I mean? We just wait and find out if he worked with anyone. Yeah, Terry Hops. Yeah. I could probably get sued for that, but fuck you, Terry. If you're watching, get off my channel. I don't like you, brother. Yep. He done did something. Yeah, crayfish can. Dude, I mean, shit. I got bit by some little fishies in Hawaii that really pissed me off. Totally could have been, but I believe he was still in Florida at that time. I will confirm, but I'm pretty sure he was in Florida for like 5 or 6 years and then moved somewhere else in Florida. I think he's just the landlord. Daisy, I think YouTube, someone told me they tried to send me a link and it wouldn't let them. I need to check my settings on this. I don't know if Streamlabs, I don't know what the deal is, but you can always email me links. Email me links if you guys have research you want to send me. Please, please, please. And I'm going to figure out how to make it. Yeah. Could be something as simple as that. I'm still pissed off that I said he was probably in a duck hunting club and people went, we don't have those. And you do. And he was. Fucking website. You got the bit by jellyfish on your first day. What? The little tiny ones, aren't those super poisonous, Renee? Are you talking about the ones that are all pretty on Instagram? They look like really cute. It wasn't a Portuguese man or one of the tiny ones on Instagram where people are like, I'm touching it. And everyone's like, you're going to die. You have to be a mod to put links. Well, you're all mods now. Get ready. This is bullshit. I'm gonna start doing call-ins ASAP, and then you guys can tell me the link. Right? That was them. Oh my god, Renee, no. Y'all, Renee said earlier that 25 years ago in Hawaii, she stepped on one of those tiny little blue jellyfish. If you look those up, oh my God, that was probably, did it feel like what they call it, the devil's itch? I read somewhere that if you step on that or a certain type of barnacle, you can get the devil's itch, which is like a shingles thing or maybe a sunburn thing, but like it's when you itch in your asshole and on your body. God, millions of those little blue ones washed up on the West Coast, dead and smelly. Ew. I don't, man, the ocean creeps me out. Hawaii creeped me out, but I do want to go back one day. North Shore, were you by, what is it? Hilaiwa? Am I saying that right? That was one of my favorite places. Oh my God. I think it's Hilaiwa or whatever it's called. It's North Shore. So sick. Loved it there. Got to go free. That ruled. I'm so glad I didn't step on anything. Yeah. Oh no, Renee. Patronus Glow. Listen, no spoilers, but your mom's right. Karen Reed was nuts today. Oh, you're going to be so pissed the first like couple of hours. Just get ready. Get ready. They really throw some dad cam at you. That was crazy. Yes, the little blue clear one. Aren't they so precious too? And they look like something that you would want to buy a glass of, like a little glass blown one. They're so cute. And then you touch them and it's fire. Shingles do suck. I have someone close to me who got shingles once and it was the hardest thing to watch and I felt so sad. I was like, man, I was crying that they were going through that because they didn't have chicken pox or something. And then it ended up with shingle. Something to do with like, if you don't have, someone tell me about that. Cause I felt like the doctor was bullshitting, but they're like, did you ever have chicken pox, this dude? And he's like, no. And then he got devil's itch and they were like, that's shingles. Sometimes you get that when you've never had chicken pox. It's like, what? In your calf. Oh, Renee. God, that sucks. I could listen to people talk about wounds all day. Let me open up to you, and then I'll show you one more thing. Do you like pimple popping videos? I am one of those people. I think pimple popping videos, and that doctor, is her name Lee? Love it. Love watching her. Thank you, whoever that was. I will look. I think my phone made a noise. I think it's a good noise. Kelly, thank you so much. Thank you for saying I'm not a narcissist. I appreciate that. I'm a narcissist, though. I'll fucking tell on everybody. Anyway. He's also very religious, totally against sex. You know, Lisa, I feel like you could be a profiler. I was thinking there's something going on there. There's something going on there because it feels very white knighty, doesn't it? I'm trying not to be rude, but I don't feel like it. I guess the way that he talks about, the way he's willing to throw anybody under the bus just to get a win feels more reckless almost than, you know, how it was with Burke at times. It's like, well, goddamn, one guy's not looking at all. The other guy's accusing everybody. Can we get some middle ground here? Really bothers me. There is a savior complex. That's a good point. Very interesting point. Michelle, you lived in Oahu for 3 years. I am so jealous. Diamond Head, is that what that's called? That was beautiful. I was like, wow, look at the big rock sticking out of the fucking floor. I love that. And then there was a hat, a little island shaped like a hat. And then they said the name of it. And everybody went, oh, and I was like, what's going on? If you know, you know. There are so few duck hunting areas around here. And my brother-in-law explained how it works. And it was 100%, right? I mean, whack, whack indeed. There are a lot of ducky hunting areas kind of near where I'm from. Yep. Port Aransas down there. A lot of them. And it's like just hunting clubs in general. If you got a dad who's into guns, he's going to be in a club. This is just how it goes. One visit to Hawaii was enough for your name. Yeah, I might need to go back because I didn't fully appreciate it the first time. I got a lot of sunburn and then a woman threw dead people on me. And I talked about that in a past live. We'll talk about it again. If Shannon did knock on his door, her movements during the 911 call aren't what we were told. I think that call needs some deep dives. I think so many people did deep dives on that call, though. Fuck. I mean, I listened to it a whole bunch. I feel like every time I've shared my thoughts on this, I get yelled at by people, but I'll just say it. I'm not saying here's again, we're not our families, but genetically speaking, mental illness is a hell of a situation. There were reports from people who loved her and knew her, and I think you guys would all agree that she was struggling with some issues, right? Wasn't that a thing? Maybe she didn't take medication for it. I believe her sister said that she did when she was younger at one point. Correct me if I'm wrong. When you take any substance that perhaps you're not familiar with, I would give you an example of perhaps, I don't know, GHB, which is a substance that kills people. It put a comic named Tom Segura here in town. When he was in college, it put him in a coma for a very long time when he was in college because he had a little cap full of it. It's a party drug, and it's also used as a date rape drug, but it's really just a tiny little bit of clear liquid. And the tiniest bit in the wrong drink or just like a quick shot can really absolutely obliterate you and kill you. And here's what's crazy is that I believe it leaves your system pretty quickly. And imagine you die in a marsh, you had some GHB, it doesn't mix well with your body chemicals. Something that has happened in the past, I brought this up on Melanie's channel to a couple of people who have taken GHB, who have taken salvia, who have taken kratom, and who have taken a drug called HCI that was an import from China. And it was very brief, and it's like a tiny little salt flick. It would just kill them, kill a lot of people trying to fuck with it. Even tiny doses of fentanyl. These are the types of drugs that can kill you. And sometimes people don't know why. You can't tell, especially if the bones are found later. And especially if they are degraded. And sometimes when you take these, there have been multiple cases where people freak out. And by freak out, I mean they get an adrenaline dump or an adrenaline burst. There was a lady who was talking about this specific phenomenon where people get really hot. Their body temperature rapidly spikes and decreases, whatever. If you're a nurse in the chat, you probably know what I'm talking about. Tell me. And then they just take off all their clothes. Simultaneously, they'll get these adrenaline spikes and they can do all kinds of things. I've talked about this before when I got stabbed. I haven't worked out in 30 something years. I picked the bitch up by her hair. I was strong all of a sudden. It makes sense to me to run through reeds. It makes sense to me to have strength when you are terrified and think someone's trying to kill you. It also makes sense to me that she was absolutely scared and she did think someone was going to kill her. And she did have a reason to fear for her life because of where she was in the middle of the night. The fact that she might have been feeling extremely intoxicated simply because perhaps someone drugged her. Now, if it was Hackett who gave her a pill and it interacted poorly, if it was Bissett or whatever, what's his name, the guy in the house, if it was him who gave her something, regardless, I can see it not vibing with her getting really scared for good reason because she's in a vulnerable position. I can see her also misinterpreting being chased or running from nothing from a bout of psychosis. I can see her heart rate spiking. I can see her perhaps, if she's on any GHB, she's going to go into a coma immediately. And I don't believe it's going to be traceable that long later. Correct me if I'm wrong if you're a nurse. I'm very interested in knowing. And I was thinking of calling up my grandma and asking her because she's a nurse, but I feel like she would get pissed off and have a lot of questions. As I was like, if I was like, hey, can you die from a capsule of GHB? She'd be like, what the fuck? But yeah, what do you think? Do you think it's possible that she took something? Perhaps it didn't vibe well with her. Perhaps she had a mental slip or an adrenaline spike reaction. Perhaps she was absolutely in fear. Again, not doubting she had a reason not to be. I think she had a reason to be. She takes off. That happens. Did she take off her pants so she could run better? Well, let me tell you something. When I was scared, I pissed my pants. And what that does is that makes your pants get heavy. And then they just kind of fall down. That's what happened to me when I was getting stabbed. Pants down to my ankles. You piss yourself pretty quick when you're scared. I am curious if maybe she stripped because of that. Because she's running. They fall. I don't know. I'm just curious. Does anybody think that there is a possibility that this happened? that perhaps she took something, it made her freak out, and it didn't show up because of how her bones were found, where she was found, and the potential of maybe it was something like GHB. I'm not saying that is it. I'm just asking if that's a possibility. What do you think? I don't know. Because there have been a lot of cases in the last 2 decades where stuff like that has happened, really. Yeah, they should have transferred the call, man. They shouldn't have. Or they should have, right? They didn't transfer it to the right place. And also, I feel like the person who was taking the call was kind of rude. Yeah, who did? Was it Ariel? John Ray did that? That's fucked. That makes me not like him. Petty Mason, I love you for this. What if we watch all pimple popping content one day? Would you guys all leave? What if your dad wanted to show the cult something cool? Maybe a video of a big cyst exploding? See, we all have weird things. It's not a fetish. It's just nice to watch. Once had a doctor misdiagnose poison oak as shingles. She's a very bad doctor. Also, Dr. Pimple Popper is awesome. Ever Google botfly extraction on YouTube? Elizabeth. Yes. I saw. Sorry, I hit the thing. I saw a botfly in a guy's skin once. Ew, it was gross. He put duct tape over it to suffocate it, and it just got bigger and stronger. I haven't talked to this dude in many years. It was at a bar in Austin. He's from Chile. He got wasted at a soccer. It was like a soccer thing at the bar. They were playing it on the TV. He got excited about his team. He ripped off the fucking duct tape and then bit the botfly and spit it out. And we all screamed. And I wish I could have drank back then because I would have, because that was disturbing as fuck. Yeah, this guy thinks everything's witchcraft, doesn't he? I mean, this guy thinks that Slender Man pictures are like apparently a crime scene. There's so many things I want to send John Ray just to get his take of now. Okay, John, what did I do? Check this out. Internal shingle. Oh my God. Margaret, is that what Devil's Itch is? Oh. Internal shingles is a really good description for how I felt watching that press conference today. Wouldn't you agree, Margaret? Damn. That's so scary. I'm going to go look that up later. It is the Giuliani voice, Nicolette. Listen, here's the thing, Renee. I don't want to feel this way about John. But he keeps disappointing me, girl. He keeps disappointing me. And here's the thing, like, I get that he at one point in time represented everybody, but there is a reason why Gloria Allred is doing her power moves on him. And there's a reason I think that Jessica Taylor's family made that post. You feel me? Like, I think something's up. And he says that he's not suing for money, but he is suing for money. He's just losing over and over again. I don't know. I feel like maybe he kind of went with it. Didn't have enough faith in himself. I don't know. Hey, let's check this out real quick. I'll show you a couple more things and then we'll go. Wait, here we go. So look at this gross shit. So this is art, right? So this is an art blog by this person named Nos-HK. Now, this may surprise you. See how it's a guy in a cage, not a woman? Huh, cute. Anyway, this person, not Victoria Heuermann, right? Not at all. Not Victoria Heuermann. You could go check yourself. Now, this is the type of stuff that we saw John Ray sharing, right? This is an art blog from Nos-HK. Now, I'm going to go to CTRLF. I'm going to type in the VINN, which is the beginning of Victoria's handle for her Vinandamater thing. Notice how nothing pops up. That is because she did not reblog it. And as we continue to go, you see that? The person who first posted it, all the way up here. Now, this was one of the artists, and I believe one of the pieces that was shared as Victoria's. Now, the one where they're cutting into someone and he's accusing them of being cannibals, that's all this. Victoria did not reblog it. She did not retumble it. She had nothing to do with it. Good to know, huh? Very interesting. Very interesting. You guys don't like cysts? Okay, okay. Yeah, I do. Here's the thing, like succumbing to the elements. I mean, think about it. You're out on an island, everybody abandoned you. It's like go hang out with Dr. Hackett or die in the reeds. Shit, I wouldn't go hang out with Hackett. I might just succumb to the elements at that point because that guy was nutty as fuck. That could be. It could be. Yeah, and also again, I feel like Hackett could have maybe given her something that led to her death. But if so, why is he going after Vicky? I mean, remember, he is literally suing Hackett for this. Why go after Vicky? That's not going to look good on your appeal or on your attempt to resue. I don't know how he's doing this anymore. Please send me photos of your before and after surgery pictures. Yes, please. Slenderman is ridiculous, and I feel so bad for the old girl who got stabbed by her friends. That Morgan Geyser chick was trying to get out soon. Oh my God. And there's this awful case of a poor sweet girl named Skylar Neese. We got to talk about Mean Girls. We're going to do a Mean Girls episode because let me tell you, high school girls scare the shit out of me, which is why I took the time to vet Victoria. You cannot say I didn't give John the benefit of the doubt. I took my time to look through every picture. Now, why am I not showing you every single picture? Because it would require doxing literal high school children all the way to young adults who did not ask for this. They do not know her. They're engaging in Tumblr culture. And because Flower Girl misinterpreted some shit, they shouldn't have to suffer. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something John didn't do, and I'm going to be careful. However, like I showed you earlier, if you want to see every single URL and go vet it yourself, you can go to that Newsweek page and you can do that. You can see the Hannibal picture or portrait of the deers that John insists is Shannon, even though she was not killed by deer. You know what I mean? You can go see the person eating the food. Same artist, I believe, is that. You can go see how she didn't revlog stuff. There's so much you can see. Let's find another. Here we go. I'm going to pull up some other stuff. Also, I do want to point this out because I think this is important. And you know what? Oh, fuck it. I'll just show the entire screen, right? That's easier. Oh my God, that's so much easier. I should have done that the whole time. Okay. Sorry, guys. I spaced out. So, another thing right here. This is Sweet Kid. I don't want to dox them. They want you to know that racists and homophobes are not tolerated. They seem very nice. They seem very sensitive. They are, which is a good thing. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, look, if you're going to shit on me, I'm going to block you. They seem like a bit of the younger generation. Okay, fair enough. They let you know right out, this art is not my own. All posts have links to the original artist. If you are an artist and you see your work featured here, as in I pick out art and I show it, and if you would like it removed or credited differently, please let me know. Fascinating how there is a gore site that Taylor runs, and they put any artist shit up there. And now that artist is associated with all the other artists via cache on Google. Very interesting. And even if you go through DuckDuckGo, which I've seen, and even if you go through, it doesn't matter. It's going to be the same. Very interesting. He did keep trying to tie it to which, Renee, you're on fucking point tonight, babe. Yes. He is out here shitting on the craft. And listen, Farouja Bulk is a great actress. We can't let him do this. Are we going to let him shit on Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock next and Practical Magic? Are we going to let this go down, my coven? Ooh, shit, the cult turned into a coven. I'm just saying. Yeah, whatever happened, Shannon, alcohol, drugs, she was aware enough to know Mike Peck broke protocol using her. So I agree, but ooh, Margaret, you fucking genius. You just reminded me. I actually have a friend who I was going to have on, and I'm going to call her this weekend. She's a sex worker who worked on some projects with me where we were trying to, I think I talked about one of my videos about how she had this John who liked to make the girls get really cold in an ice bath, and then they had to play dead. And if they did it well enough, he would tip them a lot. He was very aggressive. He scared the shit out of her. She thought he was a serial killer because it got more and more disturbing. Now, not only that, but she did have 2 guys try to kill her, and another guy admit to her he was a serial killer and tell her he was going to take her, and he tried. And she hit me up. We met each other through a forum where I offered to help. We found all these people. She was right the whole time. I trust her for life. She's a great person. I hit her up every once in a while. We made a long podcast. She did agree to let me put it out, so I might put that out maybe in the future. She discusses a lot about sex work, specifically in this time. She had worked Long Island. She had worked DC. She was one of the rare people who she started stripping, and then she was invited in, and it wasn't like a lure situation. She wanted to do it. Once she was in, though, she went through a situation where basically she had been put in a situation where 2 guys told her, you have to choose up. And what that means is, I'm going to beat the shit out of you, or you're going to end up dead, or there's going to be a fucking problem if you don't pick me to be your new pimp. And they are very aggressive. And if you look up, look up the track or the blade, which is the nickname for these streets where women are trafficked and women voluntarily would street walk. Just look up that in quotes and then put choosing up, and you will see the process. And it is particularly horrifying, scary, and violent. So these women will often find themselves in a situation where they now have to pick a new pimp. And that guy is not a Romeo pimp, as they call it. He's a gorilla pimp, which means he beats the shit out of you. And essentially, what was once you doing sex work is now you sex trafficked. And that's one of the ways that they kind of walk that line and get away with it, is that they take women who have also already been in already been in sex work, and then they elicit them into trafficking unknowingly by forcing them to choose up in like a hotel room or something. It's extremely, extremely dangerous and very, very scary. And I just think that when he said her name, I think it's really plausible because this is what she told me. And I have interviewed a few other sex workers for other cases about specific things. And I do kind of vet a little. I trust her, but I just want to see what the vibe is all around to see if this is something that's specific. Because I know in the West Coast, they have a thing called Pink Book where all of the sex workers talk and tell each other who's dangerous, who to look out for, who's going to hurt you. Don't get in this car. And I believe on the East Coast, it's called the Black Book. So there's different names for it. One of the things that I was told is that it's like a safety word to say a woman's real name. It's something that you never, ever, ever fucking do. But if you do it, that is your warning that this is it. Either get in the car or I'm out. It's your way of saying this is serious. You remember Family Guy? The safety word's banana pita. It's that. This is the safety word. I said your full name. Now you know it's for real. Get in the car. And it's not even like you're in trouble now. It's not like 3, 2, 1, para acá. It's not like that. It's like, this is for real. The cops are coming. This is for real. I think this is a sting. This guy's about to rob us. This person's about to kill us. That's when you use the real name for the girl if she's not getting the picture. But again, it's a very last resort. I think her taking off through the reeds in a rich neighborhood at night, him being a driver, slowly trying to catch up with her because his entire job, in order for him to get paid, is to get her to and from her situation safely. That's his job. He needs to get her from it safely. She is not cooperating. She's screaming. People are calling the cops. She is calling the cops. I think it's reasonable for him to be like, yo, Shannon, what the fuck are you doing? Like, to me, when I heard that, it's like, back when this stuff came out about Shannon in the call, me and that girl were talking about this stuff every day. Me and her we're still really good friends. I just haven't heard from her in a while. I'm actually kind of hope she's okay, but it doesn't matter. She's a mom now. I think that my concern about her is totally different. She lives in the desert now and it's just very hot and I worry about her. But anyway, she told me that this isn't as odd as we all think it is. At least at the time I thought it was. She was like, that's a dude who is ready to go the fuck home. He doesn't want the cops called. She's calling the cops. Absolutely, he's going to say her name. Yes. That's something you never do in front of the client, like, unless it's an emergency or we need to go. You know what I mean? It's also, in a way, kind of, I think, a technique to try to protect his own ass, right? So that it's like, I'm not attacking her. I'm just saying her name. But yeah, that's just my thought. She told me that this sound, like when they say the name, like that's a huge no-no. You don't do that. But if you do it, it's like you're fucking banana, you know? Let's see. Yeah, Jesse Essex, you're going to want to go to the beginning. Yeah, where's Jesse? What's the problem, Jesse? Let's talk. Let's talk to you. What are you fussy about? I came in maybe after an hour. Why did I say something that was already said? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out what the problem is because I want to help you. He probably has a good reason for pointing out her pensions. I'm glad I know what she was doing on Tumblr. I don't know. I'm glad I am. I like her less, but she's not irredeemable. Those are not her tumbles. Those aren't her tumbles. Great news. Those aren't her tumbles. You should go to the beginning. You should go to the beginning because this is her art. I'll just show you now, Jesse. Look at this. Look at this beautiful shit. This is Vicky's art. Vicky draws self-portraits to help with her self-esteem. When she was younger in high school, she would go on Facebook and try to join groups with Comic-Con people and people who were into 2D and 3D animation, things like foxes and stuff like that. And she would say, hey, do you want to be my friend? And she expressed how she had a hard time making friends. She made public posts of these. Naturally, when everybody started accusing her family of things, and when she found out her dad was a serial killer, she went offline. She seemed like a very sweet girl. Because she was younger, I'm not going to show you that. I know you want to see it, but I'm not going to show you that. I'm sorry. She was younger. She was a kid. She was reaching out in a vulnerable time. She wanted feedback on her art. She wanted people who liked the things she liked. This is what she liked. Now, all of that gruesome, nasty stuff wasn't hers. It was other people. It was a person named Taylor who runs this page and reblogs other people's art. Are you with me, Jesse? I'm giving you what you want. This person who made the nom 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 food one, that wasn't actually Sarah Draws. It was the first person who posted the feast. Oh yeah, it was Sarah Draws. Never mind. Yeah, that was Sarah Draws. See how that's her? See how it's not Victoria? Well, if you keep going and you click on her post or you just go look her up and type in art or deviant art, you're going to find her accounts. And she's a person who is not Victoria. In fact, everybody who makes these accounts, including exoskeleton, everybody who makes every single picture that you see on the exact website that he touts, that he says she reposted blogs of, this is her artwork. None of this is signed by her. It's not her. See, this is Franck Bezahan. I don't know how to say that. This is Epitaphoba. I don't know how to read. Is that Russian? I don't know. This is by Anato Finstark. Now, if we go find, is that the butthole? It doesn't matter. If that is that a balloon knot? Is that what they call it? If you go back and you look at all of these, they're on other people's page. They are not Vicky's. Now, here's why they think they were. Because they have a very bad tech girl. Flower Girl, you saw her, right? She looks like she could play Belle in Beauty and the Beast on Ice. Turns out, instead, she wants to destroy a woman and accuse her of murdering people when she was in middle school, kindergarten, high school, when she was out of town, which makes it physically impossible, and when there's absolutely no evidence or trace of that. And not only that, we're going to double down and we're going to say that because somebody else who once reblogged her art and somebody who happened to have a site that archives people's art and reblogged her art a long time ago, because all of their info shows up when you search her because it's in the cache for the old original file. This girl in the dress took a look at that and said, oh, she must have made this or reblogged it and then deleted it. But the problem is, are you still with me, Jesse? The problem is, Jesse, the fucking problem is you can go on Wayback Machine. You can also look all these people up individually. You can go to About the Blog. You can go to Contact Page and you can contact them. Here is this person's email, who they share almost every single piece is on this person's blog. And if you don't believe me, here it is in Newsweek, reference and screenshot from the John Ray thing. See, exoskeletal. That's not Vicky. Vicky did not repost them. They reposted something of hers a long time ago that got taken down. Did I not say that already? That ended up in the cache for the search on Google. When it popped up, they just assumed something, which they shouldn't have done because they don't know how the internet works. Jesse, can you believe it? Are we caught up? Are we caught up, Jesse? Did I tell you enough? I do think, though, that you should go back and watch the beginning because we kind of go a little more in depth. But honestly, you kind of got it all here. If I'm being real with you, you don't have to go back. I don't need clicks, likes, and views. I just need people to leave this bitch alone because she's probably having a hard time. Her dad killed people. Listen, if I found out that my dad or my stepdad killed someone, I would be very upset. I would be a mess. I don't know if I could make these lives. Imagine. Let me just put it this way. This is what I try to look at to humble myself. And I'm going to not look at it right now because even just looking at it. I mean, come the fuck on. Fuck. I'm taking myself off screen. The point is, why? We already got dead girls. We got kids without their dad. The point is, I usually don't get this emotional, but I can't look at those pictures, you guys. They bum me out. They really bum me out. I don't know. I look at those when I'm starting to feel angry. I don't look at these because these are not them. You know what I mean? Those aren't them. None of this is them. And it pisses me off. Holy shit, I got emotional. And you don't really see me put up a lot of pictures of the girls, of the Go-Go girls either, because I got emotional. I get really upset. It's been so long. And then to think some of them didn't have family that was like, that went out and posted them as missing, didn't even know they were missing. That's a scary thing, you guys. It's really scary. And then to think of Karen and her sister, and everybody was saying that, like, you know, John Ray paraded these people on the news who said that she was homeless and dirty, a transient, hungry. They picked her up. But you go back and you read the earlier news articles, and they say something totally different. They say that her feet washed up with perfect mani-pedis. And I'm sitting there going, then why did John Ray say that? Why did this woman get on TV and say that she was broke and destitute? And then, like, the news says that she was washed up in pieces with freshly manicured and painted toes. It makes me think whoever did that to her either had a really sick signature or MO, or whoever did it to her, I don't know. Did they try to pretty woman her? I don't know. But I do know that if that's true and that's the evidence, and this was in like multiple news articles, then like what the fuck? Why is he doing this? It really bothers me to see him do multiple press conferences accusing people that frankly I don't like. Fuck Burke. I don't care. Accuse him of whatever. But if it detracts from someone else, don't do that. God, actually, I'm starting to get less sad and more mad now that I think about Burke. That's going to help. Burke. God, I'm pissed again. Who the fuck jerks off in front of the Vietnam Memorial? What a prick. As if Vietnam wasn't bad enough. You know? As if the Hanoi Hilton wasn't bad enough. Homies came out with long arms. Homies came out like Slender Man because of that shit. And this fucking dude jerked off in front of the Vietnam Memorial. Then he tried to solicit sex in front of it. He was the police chief. Just shocking, dude. Just shocking. Sorry I got emotional. I wasn't going to show that, but like, I don't know, it bums me out. I think what bums me out is because like, you can tell that they didn't want that for themselves. And you can tell that kid's got some issues, you know? He's always looking miserable. He never looks happy. And that makes me sad. Especially because, like, autistic people, every single one I've ever known, they're brutally honest. That's a problem. They tell you that you look fat, that you look like shit. And they're right. You do. People don't understand that brutally honest nature. They don't understand the brutality of being told the truth. And that's what a lot of, it's like the number one thing autistic people do. So you can't tell me that that kid knew and never said shit. You know what I mean? You can't tell me that a little girl grew up seeing that shit. And first of all, let's say she did. You think her dad would let her put that shit on Tumblr if she knew what he did? You also think that she would put that on Tumblr but not tell a friend? She's an art kid, you guys. Art kids are theater kids that talk with words that are written down. It's that simple. I understand, Daisy. I understand that that's not his kid. That's what even makes it kind of more tragic. But he helped raise the kid. You know what I mean? I'm saying people are accusing the whole family of being in on it. You don't think that kid's going to tell someone? You don't think that a kid with autism isn't going to speak up and say how he feels exactly or what he does or doesn't like to someone? I got all snotty. This is great, guys. This means my period is ending because I cried. I didn't think that would ever happen. That's crazy. I never do that. Okay, listen, Renee, I'm curious. What do you think about this? You have two kids on the spectrum. First of all, mad respect. That has to be really hard. It really does. But also, I truly think that kids on the spectrum, they all have a brilliance. They have something about them that is awesome that other people are like, whoa. I know one kid who can beat like any fucking video game. He's on the spectrum. My my boyfriend's brother's cousin, it's this kid named Sean. He rules. He's like, somehow, I think he's his aunt's first husband. So I don't know. Anyway, his cousin, I don't know. This kid's cool. Every time I see him, he's like, check this out. He does a cool kick. He giggles a lot. He's fun, but he tells you the truth, dude. My old neighbor, Daniel, man, that kid, My little brother, too, on prom. I said, how do I look? He said, fat. I was like, bitch. And I threw a hairbrush. But you know what? That's how people on the spectrum are. They're going to tell you how they feel. If you ask a kid on the spectrum, hey, anything weird going on at home? Chances are they're going to tell every single secret you ever have. Or if they're nonverbal, they're going to shut down. But they're always brilliant at something. And they have a way of communicating depending on if you pick the right way. And I just don't see this kid letting him do that or not telling someone. I don't see the daughter doing that. Now, Asa, if the swinging thing is real, which I'm even questioning that because that's the same fucking document where he tossed in all this other shit about Karen. And I'm slowly finding out that a lot of the things that we think we know about this case were told to us by John Ray, and that's why we've never seen it. It's really pissing me off. Anyway, I got really emotional, but listen, we're going to work through it because I have something I'm going to close out with. And I love you guys, and I thank you for putting up with that. And this is the only thing that can replace the embarrassment I have from melting down in front of you. Let's do horse kicks tree, farts on dog. I feel like this is something you might remember and love. Swinging is not a big deal. You're absolutely right. Something like him liking the sound of his own voice, like how it makes it feel to lead the chart. Yes. Yes. We're about to do some eye bleach. I found out I was autistic as an adult. Once as a kid, I told waitress that my dad had a boy part, a penis, because I had just learned the word and thought it was important. Listen, Lay, I have been given 2 autism spectrum tests. I was told both times that I'm a high functioning autistic. I didn't know what to do with that information. I did nothing. I feel fine. I don't think I am, but I also, everything that I've read about it, I'm like, oh, I agree with this. So I don't know. Adam, Swingers is one of my favorite fucking movies on earth. You're a little bunny, you're a little bunny, you're a little bunny. She's Big Bear. I love that movie. I absolutely love it. Your money. Renee says, it's difficult, but my kids have such a long way. And I always say that everything flourishes with love and patience. Everything. That's true. Love and patience. Which we should give to John Ray in addition to maybe some better clothing. Maybe we need to get him out of that suit into some jeans. How would you feel if John Ray wore jeans one day? How would you feel about it? Percocet? Absolutely. Absolutely. None of that shit. Maybe. Unconditional love. Daisy says, Adam, I freaking love you. Am I an empath? Thank you so much, Teresa. I also have like cried over a barbecue sandwich being really good. A camel? Oh, shit. All right, well, here's what we're going to do then, Carrie. Corduroy in the summer. Here's what I'm thinking. Because, like, I could keep going through Victoria's shit, but again, it's a nothing burger. I don't want to dox this girl more. She did nothing. Everything was really good art. If you go through her 3D, 2D animation reel, it was good for the time. You know what I mean? Nicolette. Swingers is one of my favorite movies. Swingers and Singles. Very good movies. You're high functioning autistic as well, Lady Fang. Thank you so much for saying that. Sometimes I feel like I'm just disorganized. I'm a disorganized person on the TISM, maybe. I am a bit of a crybaby, Adam. I cry a lot at wrestling. You guys, I never thought you'd see this side of me because I didn't plan on watching wrestling with you ever. But It really bothers me to see moms with their autistic children crying and to see dads crying. It really makes me really upset when I see, not upset in a sad way though with this one, but like if I see a poor kid get new shoes or like a bully give the kid a gift because the bully was mean to them, I cry every fucking time. Every single time. I really cannot get over the shoes. If somebody gives someone shoes, I'm I'm a, if somebody buys those glasses where people who are colorblind can see color, I fucking weep. I fucking weep. Thank you so much, Daisy. Percocent, you got the tism and 2 diagnosed kids, maybe a third. Your whole family of tisms. I love that. What is a game of Monopoly like? That's all I want to know. Jessica, same. Same. Absolutely. We're all fucked. We are all fucked if anyone checks what we Google. I'm shocked at how clean Victoria's history was. The brothers and Asa's, all of their history is pretty fucking clean. Nothing. Not a scotch of what we saw with Jennifer and with that Gollum fuck. Oh, I'm not even on the screen, you guys. Damn. My bad. Hey, sorry. Got emotional. Anything. Oh, just thinking about if I am trying to audition for something, which I haven't in a long time, but if I did, I will think about somebody calling my dog a mean name and I will weep. I swear, anyone tried to hurt my dog, I would go to prison. I would do horrible things to them. I would do shit that made that art look like nothing to you if someone touched my fucking dog. And listen, happy Pride Month. And by the way, my little dog's gay. He loves it. He's happy as a panther. But he's not. He's a dog. Adam, everyone's giving you love. Same. Lady Fang says she watches a lot of true crime stuff. Snoopy Doopy. We got a same. We got it. There you are. I can't believe what a bunch of crap that press got. I know, Renee. It pisses me off. I really think that John needs to learn the internet. That girl needs to stay the fuck off Tumblr. She doesn't know how to do it. I think that they misguidedly attributed a bad cache to, I mean, I know they did. It's just what had to have happened. There's no way. I looked up every single picture on every part of the fucking internet. There were 2 copies of one, 3 copies of another. That Horns one was everywhere. Pretty sure that was Hannibal. Like, it was just all from pop culture shit that other people made. And I only found one thing, like I said, that she reposted, and it was kind of dumb and it wasn't bad. And honestly, her art was great. Didn't have any issues with her art. Hello, Clarice. I saw that. That was nice. Me and my tool are severe idiot. Oh, trust me, girl. I got that too. I got the ADD out the whiz ass. But listen, I don't take shit for it because it's like I will literally pass out. It's weird. People take the Addies and shit for it and they get fucking tweaked. They love that shit. If I take that shit, I go to bed. Trips me out. You're aware of the Free Britney movement? Yeah, it's a lot. He does feel like a bit of a, God, what's the word? Fancy Carney? I think Fancy Carney. I'm going to call him Fancy Carney. Catopoly? I absolutely love this. And you know what? I'm telling you, the Tisms were going to rule the world. It's going to be a big Ponzi scheme one day, everyone. I feel like it's time to wrap this up. I can't believe we went over 2 hours. I plan on this being 30 minutes. Nothing was in order, but I mean, it got the basic point across. Like, it's go on the Wayback Machine and put her blog in there, you know? Put exactly what he said, vinandamadter.art. You can find it every single page with the URL on the Newsweek article. You can go to it. You can look under it. You can see reblogged and tumbled it. She did not delete anything. Otherwise, she would have deleted all of it. Literally. None of this was her. Gore Whore is not her. It's a woman named Leela Ira Art. If you're just catching us at the end, none of this was shared by her. The one account that did try to troll her. Oh, I guess I could show you that. Let me pull that up. Actually, let's also pull up this one more time. Let's pull this up. Because I think that it's good for you guys to see this too. This, by the way, is her 2D and 3D animation. See that? That's what she did. Kind of looks like a, was it a, oh, what's the name of the Kuntz? Kind of looks like a Kuntz dog. Remember Kuntz? He made the, is it Kuntz or Kuntz? Kuntz. It's hard to pronounce, but he made, spelled easy, hard to pronounce, but they make like these big balloon looking dog art. It's fascinating. See this? This is all Vicky. This is all her art. Magic Cube animation. This is her, a noodle ferret. So she's trying to basically create a turning thing. All of these are very, very basic graphic design tools that are graphic designs that she has turned into animation using tools and step-by-step formats that I've seen a couple of my friends try to do, and they always end up really bad, but hers looks really good. A lot of these people end up going to design video games, going on to do that. She eventually makes a honey badger. You know, the only reason I thought she was ever into furries is because of her like of honey badgers and foxes. But then as you get more into her stuff, it's like, it's just childlike and fun. It's not like, and not in a creepy way. Like, it's like she's learning how to animate and she's making cute little fluffy things like animals that are cute. And they have a dog and it seems to look like a very happy, good boy. And if I put a picture up of it, I will burst into tears. So we can't do that today. But I mean, this isn't even furries or butt plugs. I mean, for fuck's sake. This right here, is that what Rex did? Pushed him down the stairs after turning him into a noodle? I don't understand. Honey badgers are cool, Lady Fang. I mean, this is kind of cool. Why didn't he show any of this art? Because here's the thing that pisses me off. This is what she fucking created. This is her art. He made it a point. Here's what I think is the most egregious shit, is that he went up and said, this is her art, her creations, and art that she reblogged. None of it was her creations. In fact, the profile picture he showed was just a profile with a basic filter. She wasn't even dressed like a witch. It was, I don't know what just happened. But the point is, all he showed was her profile pic from her LinkedIn. That's it. Nothing he showed was her art. The one painting that he had was the Francis Bacon one. And again, that was not what he, first of all, don't get into art theory. Don't be an art critic, John. Because it's actually, vagina's about to bite off a penis, apparently. It's a lot, man. I hope she does get his money because, frankly, I don't think she had anything to do with it. I think that was crazy. Notice how it says collections, followers, showcases. Notice how she's not following anyone, even on Vimeo. This is shit from 2019. He didn't like her jacket. He didn't like her skulls. Well, guess what? I was wearing skulls yesterday, Mr. Ray. And also, I think this is the name of her characters. She's got like these two characters she tries to make a comic book out of. And she barely makes anything, but what she does, it's not bad. Anyway. I just think like nothing that he showed was hers. And that bothers me because he's saying, I'm going to show you her art and this other stuff. We didn't see any of her art. And everything we saw was gory, disgusting, disturbing shit. I even said, I wonder if it was her dad hacking her accounts. It's very common. I said that. Now that I went and looked into it, I mean, I kind of can't believe anybody did this. This is crazy to me. This is really crazy. Not a single thing he said was true. Not a single thing. This is her art. Nothing he showed you was her art. Nothing. This was. Like, can you imagine that happens to you and then somebody goes on TV and shows a picture like any of the things you saw and said, this motherfucker eats people because they don't know how Tumblr works, it blows my mind. I think this is why I like had a weepy bitch moment earlier, because like it really bothers me when it is so obvious and easy and people just run with it. What are we doing? It scares the shit out of me too, man. Cuz right now the biggest fight among generations, I think, has to do with what's real and fake. That's what I seem to get. Correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, don't correct me. Let me just go with this for a second. My point is, I do think that there is something to the communication barriers and the problems in the world when some people just don't understand how to prove something, how to look something up. And then other people want to make it really complicated to confuse people and trick them. And I think that's what John did. And I think that's shitty. I think it's really shitty. It makes us go backwards. I don't like it. It actually hurts the cases more than it helps them. He is telling the task force what to do, and he's using public pressure to try to get them to look at something he thinks is true, when in all likelihood, they know what happened. They can't tell us. They're either working to get proof that it happened, or, you know, they're actively investigating something and he is causing an uproar and fucking that up. Posted no bitch bothered me. What was that shirt? What was that shirt? She did fuck up. She did fuck up, Adam. Everybody here fucked up. I mean, I cannot believe that, y'all. I cannot believe it. It was all scare tactics. Hello, Dillhole. I like your name. That's funny. I like that Stephanie said, hello, Dillhole. Yeah, it really is terrifying, isn't it, Jen? Like, it's really crazy. It's so easy, too, with the internet. Like, I can't. It's also hard because of the internet, honestly. Hey, thanks, Bevan. And here's the other thing. A lot of people don't know how to use Wayback Machine or how to look this stuff up or what the fuck a Tumblr is or why people would tumble or share. Like, I get that. I'm not shitting on that. I'm shitting on people who go on television, play lawyer, yell accusations. I mean, he's got Flower Girl. Is she really the IT bitch? Like, that is crazy. Fire her immediately. That's what I would do. Oh, it's just like crazy to me that this is happening. I could say it over and over again, but I just repeating it back to the choir. I think you guys see how crazy this is, right? It is how they control us, Swifty Sue, but not us, because we're in our own tribe. It's a cult, and I'm your dad. Sometimes your dad cries at pictures of strangers. Yeah. Also, yeah, I was wearing a skeleton on my shirt yesterday, Renee. She has a skeleton. She must be, because everybody was saying it yesterday. I know Adam was saying it. I know that Renee was saying it. I think you were saying it, right, Renee? I know that Daisy, I'm sure you were saying it. Ariel was definitely saying. Is it not Satanic Panic all over again? Are we really going to do this again? Because I'm so tired. I'm too tired for Satanic Panic. I can't do another Satan Panic. Can't. Damien Eccles. He was kind of a hottie, too. That was a real bummer. Do we have energy for another Satanic Panic? I feel like we don't. I feel like I'm over it. You're a demon, Adam. How dare you wear nail polish? You did it. It is like a Salem witch hunt. And ironically, a few miles away, we got a woman named Elizabeth. We got a family called the Proctors doing a witch hunt on the Karen. True crime is so fucked up right now. They're making me side with, appreciate, support, and pray for a woman named Karen. They're making me fight for a Karen. They're making me like a Karen, while simultaneously making me weep for the family of a serial killer. What is going on? Can we get our shit together? Society? Whenever America's Most Wanted, Rescue 911, and hard copy went away, and Unsolved Mysteries, the first round with Robert Stack. That is when everything changed. And now we're in an existential nightmare with Troopa Bukaki, Firefighter Flamati, and we all drink White Claws because we're on a period. What are you on your period? What are you on your period? I told you we have to practice our Boston accents by saying, what do you want your fucking period? Cranberry juice. We got to watch The Departed. We got to watch it. Send me your Boston accents. obliviousbensonquestion@gmail.com. What an emotional ride. One of these days, which is probably going to be tomorrow, I'm going to look back at this and be so embarrassed. How fucking wild would it be if this bitch... I'm so sorry. I don't even want to say this, but I'm about to say it, y'all. I'm about to say some shit. How fucking wild would it be if old Vicky just pops out tomorrow like, yeah, I had something to do with it, busts out a sword, starts threatening everyone, goes, yeah, that's my Tumblr, that's fucking right. And then it turns out she is evil. Oh, I feel real silly. I hope not. Vicky, don't do this to me, girl. Lady Fang, I want to hear your Aussie accent. Dillhole, good to see you. Rock Chalk, you missed it. I cried. I learned empathy. No, I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be hilarious if that was the first time? Rock Chalk, I wept. I wept for the family of a serial killer. We'll talk about it later. It's very upsetting. Good news is my period's almost over. I can tell because I cried. If you're a boy, earmuffs. Your dad's talking about his period. Listen, I want to read this because, Jesse, I don't know what it means. I'm very interested. Acid King Ricky Casso Jr. from Long Island is quintessential. We're going to look up the Acid King this week, Jesse. I want to know who this is. Are we talking burn you acid or are we talking trippy dippy acid? Either way, I'm in. I want to know. Rock, did you find out what happened to that poor fellow in that ditch? Is he okay? No, he's dead, actually. Who did it? Tell me who did it. I miss you and I love you, Rock. By the way, if y'all haven't gone to Rock Chalk True Crimes channel yet, she is the female version of Lorenzo Lamas from Renegade, which is pretty much the highest compliment I can give a person. Because Renegade fucking ruled. And if you didn't watch that show, go watch it. It was great. It was Quantum Leap good, which is great. The Rock is a loose cannon in a good way. The Rock Chalk is almost like Luther, if you've ever seen that show. She's a good cop who's not afraid to do bad things. In all seriousness, she worked in law enforcement for a long time. She's a dear friend of mine. I love her channel. Go watch it. Go watch it. If you're here from Guilty of Crime, J True Crime, great. Happy to have you. If you're not, go add J True Crime. You're going to love J. She's very funny. I really enjoy watching her. She gives really good, healthy, positive commentary. So does Rock. They're very kind people, and they don't spread bullshit. And I like them. If you enjoy me, go support them. Also, Dutiful Ronald. And Ed with his fucking drapes that are gorgeous drapes. I love those drapes. I love those drapes. If you know, you know. Melanie Little, she is waiting in some Boston deep, waist deep, according to Trooper Proctor. That snow was waist deep when I approached the oncoming vehicle. Listen, she's wading through a lot of snow right now to get to the truth. That's a fucked up case. If you think this is fucked up, but you want to hear Boston accents, go watch Karen Reed. We're about to wrap up. If you just got here, I'm so sorry. I have to go walk the dog. I have to go put the stuff away from when I was doing my breaks. Then I have to test my breaks. Hopefully I'll show up on live tomorrow. If not, I didn't do my breaks right. I don't know what to tell you. What's with the typos tonight? My phone is putting in gratuitous punctuation and it drives me crazy. Renee, me too. And also, my keyboard's been working all wonky. And I realized earlier when I was responding to things, it was just leaving out entire words. I blame Vicky. No, I'm just kidding. I really like Thank you guys so much. You've been so kind. You've been so sweet. I absolutely love you. I absolutely adore you. I do want to do a shout out to Gabby. Nicolette, thank you for reminding me. Listen, you guys, Duty Ron went to Gabby Petito's family's fundraiser today to help raise funds for Gabby. He has been kicking it with Joe Petito, trying to help him out ever since the shit went down with their daughter. And he has been a shoulder to cry on. He's been someone who has tried to guide the family. He's been an outspoken advocate for them. He loves them to death and they love him to death. They have a great rapport, and it's nice to see a family get advocacy after the fact, because a lot of people forget that, victims, if it's in a high profile situation, for a while, they tend to get a lot of help. But then later on, when they really need it, that's when people kind of run around. And I feel like we have a really cool YouTube community with a lot of people who are really dope people who look out for each other. And Ron is one of those people, and he looks out for the Petitos. When everybody else is talking about Brian's lame ass shitty diary full of bullshit, he's over here driving 2 hours to go help them raise money for the legacy of their daughter. If you haven't seen that live yet, he did it today. Please go to his channel and watch it. And if you can, go to the Gabby Petito Fund page and donate to it. I'm absolutely sure that they would appreciate it. My keyboard is also too emotional, Darlene, or Elizabeth. And Darlene, he is number one. You were building out your van when that was, oh, Adam, poor guy. Dude, wasn't that terrifying, dude? Oh my God, fuck. Swifty Sue, I love you. I remember you. Hello, welcome back. Listen, guys, we're going to end on one of my favorite videos. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you're in for a treat. Fact, Victoria Heuermann made this too. I'm just kidding. She didn't make any of those things. Good news. She made the art I showed you. That was nice. I can't wait to watch this. Let's turn it up. Let's pause it real quick because we don't want to miss the good part. I'm going to turn it up real big. Free Vicky in the chat. Free Vicky. Hashtag free Vicky. Hashtag free Billy Tibbetts. I mean, he did it, but free him. Hashtag free yourselves and the rest will follow. Free your mind. Fuck. That would have been so sick if I said the right word. Free your mind. Heart. I love this video too. It's one of my favorite videos on the internet. Free Vicky. Nicolette, I am so sorry about your cousin. Those videos, I can't even talk about the Gabby videos. You thought I cried earlier. I'm about to weep, dude. That video was so fucking upsetting. That was so upsetting. Domestic violence is upsetting. Women, we are not being protected in the United States now. We have to take up arms. We have to protect ourselves. Or ask Adam for help. Or your dad. Do you need a stun gun? Is it legal where you're from? Do you need pepper spray? If you need those things and you cannot afford them, or you just need someone to talk to, reach out to your dad. obliviousbensonquestion@gmail.com. I'm dead ass serious. If you can't get a stun gun where you are and you need one and it's legal, I will mail you a fucking stun gun. If you need some liquid, we'll do a liquid ass giveaway next week. May as well make them smell like shit if they try to rob you or hit you. Fuck it. Not legal there, Stephanie? I bet liquid ass is. I'll send you some of that. Definitely get self-defense training. Get Krav Maga, drop to your knees. Kick him in the dick. Do it all. Adam, I am so sorry. Adam, you're a good egg. Thank you. Boy in the chat, everybody. Adam's hanging in there. He's here to protect us. Dill Hole. I love your name, Dill Hole. Liquid ass. It is Duty Ron. Hello, Duty. Oh my God, Duty Ron, you came in at the perfect time. I was just explaining what liquid ass was. Wow, this is awkward. Listen, Duty Ron, there's this stuff called liquid ass. It smells like a fart. You can spray it on your grandma to prank her in the car and make her think you shit your pants, or you could spray it on people who attack you so the cops know it's the guy that smells like shit that's running that way. I was giving bad advice when you came in, Duty Ron. Everyone, Duty Ron. Duty Ron, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you very much. Again, Gabby Petito Foundation, you guys. Were you here for that, Ron? Did I say it right? I feel like you and Joe Petito are like that. I feel like you are his advocate at this point for his family. I really do, because when I was telling them earlier, I don't know if you saw it, like when tragedy and shit like that happens and trauma, usually there comes a point where people are inundated with everybody. Like, obviously, we all remember TikTok. Gabby's story was everywhere. And then as the time goes by, especially because there's no court case with her because of the finality of it all and what happened, as we're finding out more things, people tend to be drawn to the salacious shit. The shit like the bullshit John Ray was saying this morning. By the way, Ron, I was telling them none of those pictures were her. She didn't reblog any of them. And they actually used info from a troll account and info from a cache that was somebody else's Tumblr, not hers. So John Ray's going to get sued without a doubt. Then I cried a lot at a picture. Anyway, the point is, this situation with everybody being really into true crime, people get really, really glommed onto something and they get obsessed with it. And they literally marry themselves to specific, like, this is what I think and this is how I think, and I'll fight anyone who disagrees with me. Fair enough. You can be passionate. The problem is when all the hype dies down, like media wise, and all the true crime shows are done, talking to you about what happened. That's when everything's calm. And you would think that, like, oh, the family needs their space. I think it's actually kind of, in my experience and in the experience of others I've seen, it's kind of the opposite. People need space, like when the event happens, and then they need a lot of support sometimes. I feel like sometimes families go a long time without that support afterwards, and they feel very alone and empty, and they wonder, where is that we had at the beginning? Duty Ron is the type of person who sticks the fuck around. He sticks around, and he's there till the end, and he's driving 2 hours to go help Joe and his family raise money for his daughter. I'm not going to call out anyone in particular. News Nation, everybody else. Ashley Banfield, where were you, bitch? Why aren't these people who advertised the shit out of her case a long time ago, why aren't they going on the road? Duty Ron he's boots on the ground. He's boots on the ground for Gabby. We love Duty Ron for that. Rock Chalk, you were boots on the ground as fuck for Veronica and Jillian. We love you for that. Rock Chalk almost got shot by a gun. She got in a fight with an Oklahoma carny, and the old lady almost shot her. She pulled a gun on her. She attacked her. And Rock kept her phone on, and she kept live streaming. Wow. Don't forget, Duty Ron, Ed, Joey, they went out in the reeds. They went out in the reeds, and they showed us how deep those reeds were. Did you get ticks, Ron? I remember there were ticks, and you were worried. That shit was scary looking. And they went out there, and they did that. They did that for everybody. And I feel like if we were murdered, they would avenge us. So we have to support Rock Chalk and Duty Ron. We have to support Jay doing a killer job. She's probably having to talk to a lot of different kind of people from Florida that are pretty hard to talk to. She's got to suss through all that shit with that case she's working on with Maddie and all that. Everybody's working on that case. Everybody's working to promote. We got to treat this case with sensitivity, and people are trying to get the word out about situations like, hey, we need to put this person in jail because they did something really bad. And that's like the other way that we can get justice, right? We have to remember that after all that dies down, they're probably still going to need us. I like people like Duty Ron and Rock Chalk because they stick around. Pretty sure, Rock, are you still driving down there? You still driving down there to talk shit to Kevin? I know Duty Ron was up there driving 2 hours to Gabby's thing today. That rules. I love that. I think we got a good crew. I really do. Daisy Live Love, you didn't have to do that. You're going to make me cry again. Horse kicks tree and farts on dog. Horse kicks tree and farts on. Hold on, Daisy, you're going to make me cry. Actually, again, it's going to hit me. I'm sorry. I'm not ignoring you. I have to see this. Okay, I'm better. I'm not going to cry. Listen, that horse kicked that tree and it farted on that dog. Watch. Can't cry now. Thank you, Daisy. You're the best. You are the best. Petty Mason, thank you so much. Guys, I'm doing the collections and half of them are going to go to the Wayback Machine. That's going to, like, thank you for helping us, Wayback Machine. I love you too, Daisy. Listen, everyone, your father loves you. Duty Ron, I'm your father now. You're in a cult. It's okay. You're going to be fine. We will keep you safe, and you won't have to drink any Kool-Aid. You don't have to dress special. I don't know if I told you this before. I have turned this into my cult page, and you are all indoctrinated. Welcome to the cult. We believe nothing and everything. But listen, I love you guys. You're the best. You are in a cult now, so be careful. People are going to try to tell you not to be in a cult. Remember, daddy's favorites are the ones that stay in the cult. And I do give ranking systems that you don't know about. But listen, I love you all equally. Nicolette, this is a hell of a last question. I have, and I don't think he left the house, unfortunately. I don't know what else to say beyond that. But I will tell you that I just my personal opinion, I don't think he left the house. I've seen nothing of substance with that. I've seen nothing but a lot of people who are unprofessional fucks who don't know what they're talking about, spew conspiracies, attack people, dox people, ruin families, embarrass themselves, and spread bullshit. And it bothers me, and I feel sorry for Sebastian. And I really hope he's okay. And I'm not about to say, like, this person did it, that person did it, but I mean, God, I don't know. They need to search that house if they did already. Fuck, I don't know. That it's really like a lot. It's a lot. When the JLR gets involved, you know who I'm talking about? The one who tried to pull that Sandy Hook bullshit. When he gets involved, fuck. Listen, if I ever get missing or murdered, don't let him get involved. Someone sweep his legs, drag him in a swamp. I'll leave you something in my will. Whoever does that, we'll figure it out. I'm not saying literally, but no, seriously, well, do not let him get involved in my case, please. Just tell them I did it myself. I just don't want him involved. You don't even have to avenge me. I really don't mind. Rock, I love you. Stop. Thank you for your service. I am not in the army. Should I join? I will join. I love you, Rock. Elizabeth, I love you. Thank you so much for your $19. You're now my favorite in the cult. Don't tell the others. Don't tell the others. I appreciate how you go about your business, Adam. You're my favorite son. Don't tell Elizabeth or Rock. I don't think they can hear us. Petty, you're my favorite. Listen, this is how a family functions. If you're in a real family, you just tell everyone they're your favorite and you lie. I know. This is how cults work, Ron. This is how they work. I can't be the leader anymore. Alice is about to shrug. It's too much on me. I'm just one dad to quite a few children. 108 kids. Who would have thought this barren mom would one day become a fertile dad? Here we are. I am glad I'm doing it too, Patronus Glow. You taught me about Harry Potter, and that's a character. The only thing I really knew about Harry Potter was that I really liked calling people PS1 Hagrid. I think it's very funny. I think you get that too, but it's literally the only Harry Potter joke I ever got. They sucked me back in, Ron. I love that. I like talking to these people. I love you people. Hey, listen, I'm pooped, but my dog is about to take a poop. He's real excited. He took his heartworm meds today. He also ate half a tuna fish sandwich and then shit all over the porch. That was funny. I don't know why I told you that, but listen, we're all about bowel movements here. We've talked about this. Pimple popping videos. One of these days we will watch them together. There's a few that maybe we can we do a thing where we pull everybody up on the screen so I can watch you all scream? That's my own sick little shit. I like scaring my mom with that. I'm like, check this video out. She's like, oh my God, what is that? And it's something horrible. Oh, happy birthday to the USR. I realize what you said, Rock. I am so tired. I don't know what day it is. Are we in Sunday or is it still Friday? We'll figure it out. Your mom always said that you were her favorite eldest daughter. My sister was her favorite youngest daughter. That's a good one. My buddy Michael jokes about like how he would rank his kids like the Von Trapps. And he's like, whoever saw us to show. Like, we were trying to figure out how you'd rank them. If you had a bunch of kids, how would you rank them? That's my question. Patronus, Jesse, I feel like I've known all of you forever. I'm like, I owe you money. You're never going to see that. I'm just kidding. Duty Ron just got home, everyone. He had a long day. He was out fighting for the Petitos again. Man, what the fuck kind of last name is Laundry? I'm not even going to get there. I'm just being hateful. Roberta looked like Ghislaine Maxwell. That's all I'm going to say. And then I'm done with that. Duty Ron is the reason we're all here. Absolutely. I love you too, Frederica. You tell your kids that you rank them. I do the thing, well, you're my favorite to my niece. And then I lean over my nephew and go, you're actually my favorite. Don't listen to anything I tell her. And then I do the same. Back and forth. They love it. Duty Ron, go to bed. You had a long day. You should get some sleep. You deserve some sleep. You and Mrs. Duty Ron should get a pizza. And then you should order some to John Ray's house just to freak him out. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But I'm going to regret saying that later. But I'm sorry. If you know, you know. Yeah, he got Duty Ron is the reason we're all here. Duty Ron laid this egg. Don't blame me. If I say something crazy in the future, it's Duty Ron's fault. Janksy, I don't. I have Cash App, I think. I put it up here the other day. My boyfriend was trying to teach me how to preload these. I did it. That's it. Snoopy Dupa. And we're gonna give half of everything away back. The other half is going to my dog. And then next week, like, we'll pick another one. That'll be fun. I want to send some to Othram. I might do a thing where, like, maybe like one day try to raise like 500 somewhere. Maybe I could do like combine it with a comedy thing. Get some comics on here. What if we did a lock-in like in church where I lock myself in my house with all these comics and they have to tell us all their trauma? And then we can raise $500 to get a DNA case solved at Othram. What do you think, guys? That's the dream. Rockchuck, you don't want to watch people squeeze their fluids out of their body with us while you scream? Imagine I convince Duty Ron, Melanie, and Rockchuck and Jade all come on and be around me, and then I just show them a Pitbull video. Canceled. I would get canceled. Duty Ron, stop it. I freaking love you. You need to get sleep. Stop giving me money. Go to bed. I never thought I'd say that to anyone. Stop giving me money. Everybody go to bed. I'm your dad now. It's bedtime. You've all watched enough Bonanza for the night. Shout out if you know that reference. K-Buns, I'm like a herpes sore. I just pop up one day and I won't leave. And I might embarrass you once in a while. I love you, though. I am curious, Duty Ron, did Joe win golf? Who won golf? I have money on it. I don't, but I'm curious who won. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. We have to keep the Wayback Machine alive, though, so I can get that to the stream. Yes, you did. You are responsible. You are responsible, Ron, for all of the good things I do and all of the crazy things. We're going to watch more videos of horses farting on dogs. And you guys are going to be like, whoa, look out, Joe Rogan. Whoa, look out, Nancy Grace. This bitch has a horse that farts on dogs and kicks trees. What's up, Nancy? Come get me, bitch. Come get me. I'm loose, Nancy. Oh, oh. I bet she'd find a way to make that horse farting on a tree about her twins. I would not put it past her. And I kind of respect her for it. I love you too, Lori. We do speak typo here. Darlene, I don't know what this means, but I am laughing. This is funny. I'm a horseman. Me too. All right, y'all. I love you so much. Thank you, Patronus. I really have to go. My dog needs to pee. Feel free to email me. I loved Hoss on Bonanza too. Dad's going to call you all Hoss now. You've all graduated from Scout to Hoss. Duty Ron, this is the side of Benson that happens when she doesn't get her brakes done properly by a professional. She does them herself in the hot side. It was 106 degrees. And then I started crying at a picture of Asa and the sun on the porch making sad faces. I wept. And then I literally had a migraine today all day because of John Ray's scrunchie. Who the fuck wears a scrunchie with a pimp suit to a serious engagement? I love you guys. I'm sorry I say such bad words, but listen, next week we'll do this shitty titty replacement. If you don't know what that is, Duty Ron, if you're still here, a woman told me that her grandma's favorite curse word was shitty titty right after telling me that she didn't like it when people cuss, but do me. And then I was like, well, what if instead of cussing, I replace it with your favorite cuss word? What is it? And then she told me it was shitty titties. And I find joy in that pretty much all the time now. It's my new favorite curse word, and we'll use it a lot next week. John Ray. I don't know what that's in response to, but yes, John Ray. Scrunchy boy. I will braid his hair. You mean the rat tail? We'll braid the rat tail, but he's going to put a scrunchie on it. No, John Ray. Hive. Dream of hive. Listen. Dream of a hive. Oh, like a bee. I was like, oh, you want hives? Shit. I can give you that. I'm allergic to everything. Corduroy suit in the summer. Hope ain't fear. That's fun to say in the Boston accent. Just like, what do you on your fucking period? Yeah, no, John wore the scrunchie. He wore the scrunchie. The second a man shows up in a mauve scrunchie, he's not about to spit some true shit. Let's just say that. You can't trust a man in an old mauve scrunchie. I was talking about this with someone in the chat, how it didn't even look like it had the elastic. It was like loose and old. That's concerning. It's very concerning. It was pink. Was it pink or mauve? We need to settle this. Who said Sugar Ray? Go back up. I just want some hives. Wiki, wiki, wiki. I don't know why I thought that. Clarice, yes, Adam. We need to do a Stefan Sturm streams. Let's do it this week. Yes, fuck Stefan. Let's talk shit about him. I won't say bad words on your channel, but here, it's a fucking nightmare on. Say so many bad things. I think I've threatened politicians. I'm pretty sure I could get sued. Whatever. Fuck it. Braid the rat tail, says Caitlin267. I like where your brain is at. 24 beehives. What can I say? I just love the honey. Were you here last night when I talked about how the thing... Okay, I hope this is true. My boyfriend told me this. I Googled it. I saw a little bit of it. I almost puked. I turned it off. But apparently bees are just regurgitating their own vomit and then shitting it out or something. Or spitting it out and re-eating it. And then that's honey. Is that true? If it is, lie to my face, please. I don't want to know. Is that what honey? I think that is it. Ugh. Ugh. Flower Girl watches live tonight. She's currently standing in front of a mirror, buzzing her hair off. Ariel, fuck, you're funny. I'll kick my boyfriend out. Come be my roommate. Let's make a movie about Flower Girl. I'm seriously... You're talking about her doing a fucking Empire Records? Is that what you're talking about? Because that's also a tie-in to Fruja Balk in The Craft. Right? Wasn't she in that? Or was it Robin Turney? It doesn't matter. I'm too tired to talk about this. Flower Girl, it's fucking on. Pull up. Pull up. I challenge. It's an OSINT challenge. I'll have an archive challenge. I'll have a database challenge and an OSINT challenge with you, bitch. You don't know what you're talking about. Stop spreading lies. You're making me sad. Flower Girl. First of all, you let John Ray come out in that scrunchie. Irresponsible as fuck if you are his assistant. You need to do better. Second of all, what in the 2000 JCPenney's was going on with that dress? Okay, that's enough. I just got really mean. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Let's watch the horse kick the tree, fart on the dog one more time, and then I'm out. We're doing a Polish goodbye. I love you. You're all my children. You make me a proud father. Okay? That's all you need to know. You're the best. You're going to be great. Be safe. Good night.